Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the DLP Report podcast live. Tonight we're live on 4G because of issues with Virgin Media. Thank you very much, Virgin Media. That was great timing. But I think everyone is here nonetheless. We have Jeff from DLP Town Square.
Made it.
Richie is back this week. Hi, Richie.
Hello. Yep, I'm back.
Yep. We have Elliot from Elliot.
Hey.
Hey. Or Game Master Extraordinaire Patrick.
Hi, everyone.
And David at Disney. We have so many people today.
Hello.
You're here, David. Yeah, okay. And we have Darren as well, who's back for another week. I guess we didn't scare him away.
No, I'm here via 4G. Yes,
He's a new regular now.
Yeah, and a special guest tonight, Vivian from The Vivian.
Hi. You know you can just say Viv, right?
No, I like to call you The Vivian because you can tell that Darren got the reference immediately.
straight away.
Anyway,
It's sticking now.
Yeah, so we have a lot of people on the air tonight, but I guess it is quarantine, so we might as well. How's everyone's week been? Lots of exciting things, I'm sure you've been doing.
It's Monday.
Well, Richie, you're working. Richie, are you the only key worker of this show?
I don't know.
I think so.
Anyone else?
I think so. We're all working from home, but you're holding down the fort. And
He's working from home now.
Well,
No, I'm
that's
working
right.
from home now.
That's right. So you're not a key worker anymore, I guess.
You got to do
Yeah, I know, right?
You're doing what we're all doing and suffering through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting around.
Welcome to real quarantine.
Yeah, this is week 7 or week 6, depending on if you've quarantined before the government told you or not. But here in the UK, it's I guess 6 or 7. And I think
Just
mainly
like going back to January, like, does anyone really think that we'll be in quarantine in April?
yeah. This is all a bit surreal, isn't it? But I think this is showing one thing is that at least the Disney parks at large and Disneyland Paris fan community can survive with the parks closed for that long because I don't know, Twitter, Instagram, everyone is still here, everyone is still chatting, we're still here doing the shows, and
We get a new COVID-19 prediction post every week, every day now.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you log on and like the US parks are like, the Florida governor once said this one word and now I think the parks are opening tomorrow.
Everyone has become
Here's
an
a picture of
expert.
a car park.
Well, in the US, at least, I don't know if the UBS report was talking about all the parks or just the US, but there was a analyst report that said that the parks won't reopen until 2021, and a lot of people have ran with that story, saying, "Oh my God, end of the world." But like, they're just analysts, right? I don't know. I feel like this is just a non-story.
I feel like they're just forecasting risk for shareholders, and I'm not sure how medically accurate it is.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
if you were going to invest in Disney parks, probably now is not the right time. Oh,
No, now's the best time.
It's a great time. Yeah.
Wait, if you are invested in Disney parks, then it's not the right time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you've bought in
You're planning to
February
invest, 'cause
and in
those
January,
things
you're
are coming back. Like, it is bouncing back. Like, it will come back. So it's a good time to invest if you haven't.
Well, better because I have invested personally.
Have you?
And not in Disney parks, but
I do too.
so
I
Oh,
consider
don't
it, but
you?
I'm like, what's the point?
if you were
The annual dividends is like nothing. So
for Disney parks, yeah. I mean, there is it's like when people bought shares of Euro Disney SCA because they wanted to have Son of Mickey, and just the fact to own part of the company is kind of like
Yeah. I used to
on-
hate that. I used to hate that phrase. Owning a piece of magic.
Yeah, and you're like, oh,
Fries
I
to
remember
like
people
all
say-
hands.
Yeah, people used to take pictures of bricks on Main Street and were like, "Oh, I like to think I own this brick." I'm like, "No, you don't get to choose."
What you actually own is it's called a voting right, and that's all you own.
Yeah.
You own an average muffin and a glass of orange juice.
I had a brick.
I had
a brick in Fantasia Gardens.
Darren actually owns a brick.
Did they
had a brick.
rip it out when they redid the gardens and like not even tell
Yeah.
you?
They ripped it out like with Michael Jackson's as well. So
They
on.
destroyed Michael Jackson's, by the way. I have the story of that one.
What is the story?
I asked about it. Well, no,
That
I asked about it because there was a few famous people who had them. Michael Jackson had one. Elton John had one. And there was when they were redoing the paving, there were people in Team Disney going, well, there's some really famous people. We should try and preserve these stones. And the builders went, yeah, that's great. We destroyed them all last night anyway.
That's so Paris.
I mean, a lot of them were faded anyway. So especially the Walt Disney Studios ones, they were put in a bad way.
The Michael Jackson one I saw about 2 or 3 weeks before they ripped it up, and it was actually fine. It was in good
Was it
condition.
polished? It was polished. I used to take a toothbrush and brush mine down when I saw it.
But yeah, no, so they were trying to save them, but they sort of failed.
But I feel like in
It's
US,
like
at
those Walt
Magic
Disney
Kingdom,
Studios
they saved them.
tram tour props.
They saved them at Magic Kingdom, right? There were some in front of Magic Kingdom, and I feel like there was some kind of program. Or was it Magic Kingdom or Hollywood
You
Studios?
could
No,
buy a
Epcot.
cardboard. You could buy a cardboard one at Magic Kingdom. You could get a cardboard replica or something. I think for a short time.
No, Epcot. What was it called?
No,
the
Legal
entrance.
Legacy. No,
No,
not-
Legacy.
Legal Legacy's gone because I have a Legal Legacy.
Richie had one. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But aren't they
Didn't they say they were just
aren't they
moving
putting
it?
them
Yeah.
outside in the parking lot?
I think so. Yeah. So
Iconic.
You've been
honest with you, I wouldn't
moved
even
to
care
the
if it crashed
parking
them.
lot.
You've been demoted
yeah, I wouldn't
out
even
to
care
the
if it just
parking
crashed
lot.
them.
Yeah. So what happened in Disneyland Paris news this week?
Pride got
Pride.
Pride got a new date. I mean,
Cancelled, but not cancelled, but postponed, but technically not postponed. But
it's kind of funny that they managed to get a new date for Electroland
I
right
know.
away, and then it took them a week to get a new date for Pride. I don't know.
I'm surprised we
I
got
don't.
a new date this early anyway, though.
It was so quick, wasn't it? So quick. Really, real surprise.
Should probably book a hotel.
They're probably trying
they
to
probably already had it in the calendars for next year, so they probably just ran with the tentative date.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. Yeah.
well, for Electroland, but for Pride apparently not, because it took a week for them to push it out. Someone had to open the laptop and look at the calendar.
Yeah, they couldn't get the VPN to work for a week. So
Don't tell me about that.
They were on Virgin Media. Snap. Yeah, but that's about it, right? There was
no.
the app
So
got updated.
oh,
There's
God.
an annual pass section in the app now. It's actually
The
really
app
good.
Is
was
it?
a great
It is
annual
just the
pass.
same
Yeah.
page that you can get on the web,
No.
but inside the app.
No.
They've actually done a decent job of it.
Like, yeah, me and Jeff had we were shook.
But like you have to just pick which AP you have, and then it just tells you your benefits.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's foundations, We're small steps here.
Lockdown is getting to you guys.
The thing
But
that
it's like
I was
it's like a
actually
puppy.
quite
You can't
happy-
you can't reward the puppy too early because then it won't.
Right, no, but so you can now log in. You can now log in
like,
with your Disney
shove its
account,
nose in the
which
poop.
is a bigger step, and it actually says "Welcome Elliot" when you open the app as well. I was shook.
Is that really though? Like, is that really progress? Like,
Oh, for this app, anything's progress.
The thing that I was actually quite pleased about, because a lot of people, they always hid these benefits. So there's the partner benefits, so the ones that are not necessarily Disneyland Paris shops and restaurants, but you get a discount at Vapiano, you get a discount at Earl Sandwich, in Gourmand you get a cheaper cinema ticket. They've really sort of amplified those on the app, which is kind of good, I think.
I guess.
I think soon enough. I think it's just they've laid the foundations there for you to be able to actually just have your pass in the app.
I mean, it really
you would
shows.
almost think that it's a totally inexperienced team who would be putting the team together, but
It really shows
Like, I think-
how low our expectations are for this app that we're happy that they just put the list of benefits.
I think-
and
I
the
think
app's like,
they-
oh, it
whoa.
says your name.
It says your name. Gee.
Wow, mail merge.
I mean,
I think
meanwhile, Meanwhile, at Disney World, they're telling everyone that you are not allowed to come by the front desk anymore. You have to check in the app and just open your door with your phone.
Yeah.
I was looking at my Disney World reservation, and mine doesn't have that.
Because you're from the UK, you have to go to the front desk.
No, that's not true.
So it's okay for me to
No,
give
because you're magic
coronavirus to people.
What?
You
don't need a magic band.
UK
So-
package guests.
You could
No, you
not.
can
You
do
could
it
package
with your
guests
phone
and
anyway.
still do it with the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can do it with your phone, but you have to go there when you check in, or you won't be able to get into the parks.
Yeah, but why don't they just
You
put the
don't
magic
need
bands
to.
on the bed? Like, it's easy.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, they have to activate it and associate it to your credit. I'm sure there's a reason.
I don't think it's
I'm
needed.
sure
Like
there's not.
UK guests can still just go like as a package guest and like do it, and I'm sure they have some form of contingency. They'll probably
Yeah,
like
sure.
extend like the postage of magic bands to people. Like they're a bit iffy with
cost them a
doing it for some
fortune.
people. But no, they usually post them out. I've seen people in the UK have them posted out before, but like they'll probably maybe just do that as a standard when it reopens, just so they have like cut that contact maybe.
I'll tell you
Because
in
everything
September,
else-
maybe.
Jeff can test that for us,
It
hopefully.
won't post them. You have to buy magic bands. That's the only way you can do it. Like, use your phone to unlock the room, then buy a magic band at the shop. But that's just the same as going to the front desk anyway.
Nah.
Because they don't give you magic
but you
bands when you're from the UK.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
you do.
to check in. You have to get them at the hotel check-in instead of in the post.
But what
Yeah,
if you
that's
have
right.
Drop
one,
them on the bed.
what if you have one from a previous trip and you have linked it in the app?
You can do that then, yeah. But then
You can decline a new one and just go straight to your room.
Ah. Wow.
But
Like,
I'm sure
you could just
not
leave them on the
many
beds.
guests.
Like, that's a possible thing.
No, but they have to They have to attach it to your credit card and stuff like that.
We have to get in the room to get them on the beds.
Yeah,
Which you can use
you
your
can do that
phone.
with your phone. Yeah.
Oh,
But I feel like UK
Right.
packages are a different system or whatever, and they have to
man. We get a
I
great
don't know.
price and sacrifice some benefits.
Yeah.
So let's talk about non-official news. Well, let's talk about official. Let's talk about official, non-official news. Natasha Rafalski did a live show.
Natasha Rafalski live.
It is unclear if she had her Chinese funeral urns behind her or not, but I don't think so. Anyways, she talked about a few points of what's going on inside Disneyland Paris. So they're working on a reopening plan, and there are different ways that they're going to explore how they're going to do social distancing. Some of them are virtual waiting lines, reduced capacity, and they're basically just discussing with all the other Disney parks around the world to see how that might work.
Paris. Virtual queues, Paris.
Management is talking to the...
You know that gif of the guy from The Office laughing away? That's me.
They're talking to the government, of course. Also, they won't be a reopening just after May 11, which is the current sort of like de-quarantine of France, but they don't know, obviously, what time or what day they might open. There shouldn't be any layoffs, but they are freezing hires on all levels, permanent, temporary, interns.
Unless you work in the CRO, where they're desperately hunting for people.
Maybe, yeah, I guess. Unemployment will be going on from the government until the park reopens. All the construction is frozen. The Walt Disney Studios expansion is still going on,
Was that fun?
but it may be delayed. Cast
But
members will-
so that's the point that annoyed me, because they were really vague. So do they mean like delayed, like as in delayed because of the construction stopping, or do they mean like purposefully delayed?
No, I think
know?
they mean, oh, well, it's Disney, we'll never know.
I think it's the construction, I think, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they probably paid.
I think it's weird as well because, like, this week in France on Monday, they continued on with the restoration of Notre Dame that had stopped for like 40 odd days. So I was wondering, because even though they said that they're going to stop all the construction, I was wondering if that's going to last too much longer, because I know a lot of other places are like slowly kind of ramping back up construction work because they're using social distancing.
I mean, Hotel New York is still continuing now, but I think the studios are just going to stop it till they can reopen.
Is going on?
Yeah, because they're allowed to do construction in hotels. So they're still doing the construction, but nobody knows if it's opening. Like, there's no opening info.
I think the idea was to open Hotel New York is when the parks reopen, whenever that is.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, like, I feel like that's a complete miss. I went through my strategy last week, but just to briefly summarize, I would have held it back a year and then had it like open in tandem with the land as a marketing push.
No, because then they lack a full hotel with Christmas and Halloween and stuff again.
No, true, but I'm not sure.
You don't want to like sacrifice capacity. They might delay the marketing campaign. Maybe they'll just
the virus going to sacrifice the capacity anyway because
who's not going to go?
People are not really going to go.
That's what I thought. That's why.
Yeah.
Like even me, I'm like thinking, do I want to go? That's going to depend on the measures for me.
Well, it was quite interesting. Earlier this week, last week, the Dutch theme parks announced how they were going to start to open.
Oh, I didn't even read that.
No, so I think they were saying that they're going to have you can only drive to the parks. You have to use an app, of course, to get in the queues. If you're with your family, you can go in the ride by yourself, and if you're with friends, you have to go separately.
So this is the biggest problem for me. I don't go to the parks with my family, so does that mean like
so you don't have any friends?
Rude.
Snap.
You could be my son, Elliot.
Right, bye.
I mean, technically. Maybe.
Elliot shouting "Daddy" in a park, saying "Daddy, I want to go."
Yeah.
Yeah, like 4 people answer.
Right, moving on. Will Disney make me like social distance from my friends? Like, will we have to walk down Main Street 2 meters apart?
Well,
I mean, it's fine by me.
I mean, oh God.
I think. But they're saying that restaurants and things in France, they're not going to announce an opening date until the end of May. That will also apply, presumably, to fast food restaurants, buffets, table service, and I don't think you can open a park until you can.
Well, that's the weird.
I mean,
restaurants in France.
I mean, Paris is hard enough anyway, so what's the difference?
I mean, they're also not going to open a village if restaurants aren't allowed to open. So
yeah.
But can you imagine the village won't open until the parks reopen?
Yeah, that's something they said. Yeah, that the village won't reopen until parks are open.
Yeah.
I mean, how long would it take to actually like restock the resort of everything?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to take weeks, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what. Like boutiques, they're fine because when parks shut.
But food and drinks
food,
and supplies and that's going to take weeks.
Polyester t-shirts aren't going to degrade anytime soon.
They fully stocked the shops like when we closed, so
I was thinking more food and drinks and supplies and things.
No idea.
It's going to be massive that because they have like specifics to order and stuff.
Relies on supply chains, doesn't it?
I'm sure they have tons of frozen food in their freezers, enough to feed
Snacks
us
will be
for
fine
like
for
a
the next
whole
5 years.
Yeah, don't worry. Nutella and muffins will be there.
I don't mind the beignets; they're good.
The star-shaped pizzas from the 25th anniversary. They still have plenty of them. They're fine.
It was a Star Pizza from 2017.
Yeah,
I'd love to know how many of those they actually ordered. Like,
oh my gosh,
so the Main Street things like the Star Pizzas are going to be the hit of the season.
Yeah, those queues down Main Street of everyone standing 2 meters apart for Casey's. That's good.
They reached Disneyland Hotel.
I am gonna bring my sandwich. Like seriously, I'm against that normally, but I mean, if that's gonna be the case, I'm gonna bring my sandwich because, like,
I wouldn't be surprised if
we'll
they're
go
gonna
to
use
Pratt.
Liberty.
For restaurants.
Yeah, they did it with like Uncle Lee's, like in the beginning. They probably will just throw it in again because they don't care.
If they legit open with like lime tea at everything, I'm just not gonna go. Like I'd rather not.
Be prepared. I mean, you never know. I like lime tea.
I don't think they can open until they can actually run these fast food places, because the French government are hinting that you'd have to disinfect every table after each family.
Yeah,
that's going to be an absolute nightmare somewhere like Paris. Not any McDonald's really. It's going to be horrible. But in those massive places like Au Chalet de la Marionnette, that's
Hyperion.
The only thing they can do is do like the way they do Hakuna in summer, and like have cast members like roping it off and only allowing you in with food, and then right away empty. Like once a guest leaves, clean the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need someone to like lead you to a table and stuff, and be like, right, okay, you sit here, and then when you get up, clean the table, like basically like a sit-down restaurant kind of thing, but with fast food.
Yeah, exactly.
It might actually work better than the usual way they run a fast food.
They've done it before, so why not?
Maybe eye-opening
but not on the
for them.
same scale. The scale is the thing that's going to be really difficult for them to do.
So let me finish my list. from 15 minutes ago.
Shut up, everybody.
So, cast members might be allowed to wear masks. It will depend on what the government is recommending. They're saying that the Lion King and Jungle Festival and the Run Disney Weekend are still on, and that was on April 21st. But I mean, so many things were still on for the longest time, and then it got cancelled anyway.
Like Pride and Leisure.
Yeah.
I really think they're getting cancelled. Sorry.
100%. I think they're just trying to manage CRO levels. Like they literally can't take the influx
dramatically
of,
change the offering, like putting Timon out for a meet and greet and calling it like a Jungle Festival.
What's different?
I think doing the run weekend's a bit irresponsible, to be honest.
Yeah.
If they did try and run it anyway. So
But
I don't think it will.
But what are the numbers normally? Because in Germany, the maximum is 5,000 people for like sport events. So if it's less than 5,000, then I mean, I see them doing it just for the sake of getting guests.
It's normally 8,000. It's normally 8,000 for the half marathon, so they could reduce.
But
because there's no BIP only sales yet, and I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen at all, anyways.
Yeah, how are they going to sell?
Was it 5,000 include spectate and stuff as well, though?
Yeah, how are they going to sell the bibs and also all the Americans are not going to come?
Yeah.
So it's already.
That's the issue. They need to like hurry up and say something about it because of like so many international people, especially Americans, fly over for this thing.
Yeah.
Like the longer they don't cancel it, that's kind of like.
I need to announce rollovers or something straight away, like of Castle to Chateau and stuff like that.
If they cancel, I can book a cruise.
That would be nice. Yeah, but there's also the training period because you need. I think we said last week. You need about 12-week training periods.
Yeah. And most people are starting already. So.
Yeah.
And how do you social distance the corrals? All of that is
impossible.
A really difficult question.
Literally impossible. Like you just can't. With the logistics of an event like that, you literally can't social distance people in it.
Yeah.
Well,
but the reason the Berlin one was cancelled was because in Germany they only do 5,000 people.
Right.
I still think that's a lot, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of people together, packed together. Like if they were clever, if they were clever, like Shanghai are about. I think it's about 9 hours away. They're about to release their virtual 5 and 10K runs.
Yeah,
so, and I think that's about 40. For the challenge is about £45. 300 and something yen. So it's actually not quite good value for I think, for what you're getting.
But these virtual ones, I think, are definitely good value.
Because they must have ordered the medals already.
Did you see the new virtual run medals?
Oh, that's so amazing. The e-tickets are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm honestly so surprised they didn't turn the Princess Run virtual and just offer us to keep the medals, send the medals.
But the medals aren't there yet.
That would take someone thinking.
Do you think the medals are not done yet? They must be done.
I mean, if they come from China, then no.
They're on a boat somewhere on their way.
Yeah.
They have to have been done.
Maybe there was a supply chain problem in China when they were doing them in January. Maybe
very true.
But also, you have to the European border. Will that be open in September?
Well,
Yeah, I
hope
think it will.
so.
I don't think it will be open for non-EEA countries. I don't think it will.
So the
Yeah.
the UK is gonna be like fucked.
No, the UK is in it.
Well,
Yeah, we're okay.
I guess.
It's
For a
like
li- for a little
Switzerland
bit
that's not
longer.
in it. Too
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
But they're really vague about it at the moment. They're like, you can't travel, but they're like, you can if you really need to. It's like,
Well,
not
it's
clear.
really contradicting because like the Belgian press conference like the other day, she was like, the 18th of June we're gonna like see whether you can travel internationally, and then the French government is like, you all should think about just having a summer holiday in France and not being allowed to travel anywhere
But
else.
in Belgium, you're not allowed to drive from France to Belgium, but you're allowed to get the train. Like,
It's so weird.
I think I don't know. For me, it's from what I'm seeing and reading. Macron seems, I think, quite realistic at the moment. Like the things he's saying, they're not comforting. And if I read something that's not comforting at the moment, I think that that's kind of likely to be true.
Skeptical, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. But
We'll see when he next speaks.
Shanghai,
That's-
if Shanghai opens soon, that's going to be the most interesting thing to watch unfold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think
also
it's,
the
it's
whole
definitely,
hotel.
it's definitely going to be
I
the
think it's-
test for
I'm-
everyone else.
Yeah.
So
The only
whatever
thing with
they
Shanghai is,
do,
though, it's really hard to follow any coverage from there. I think there's like 3 accounts I maybe follow, but even their reports are so sparse. Like, even if it does reopen, it's going to be impossible really for us to actually get an actual overview of what happens and how it's running. Obviously, with it being so controlled.
the best out of
What went
Shanghai
quite
is the
unnoticed
official
last week.
Instagram. If you don't follow them, you should.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's one of the best Disney parks Instagram. I don't know who does it or how, but somehow they managed to get.
Do you remember the
photos
Halloween
across.
posts with the skeletons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
That
do
was
all
so
sorts
fun.
of
remember-
like cool things all the time.
I remember talking to Joe Schott about it actually at the Christmas press event. That he was like really proud of it as well.
All right.
Joe Schott's the president of Shanghai Disney Resort, by
Scott.
the way.
Jeff Scott.
Who cares?
Scott. And also, the other bit of news that I got from Natasha is that I hope you don't need ponchos because they've given all of them away. So.
What a random thing. Oh, yeah.
They give them all to the hospitals.
What happened? No, I wouldn't trust those ponchos to medically protect me.
Well, you know, when you don't have anything else, you just take whatever you can. But yeah. All right. So this was it for the news, at least on my end. Unless anyone can think about something else that happened in the past week. No. No.
It was a really quiet week, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're all just we're all in the same. So yeah. So we're gonna take a first break, and when we come back, it will be Patrick's time to shine with a new quiz.
Oh boy,
The quiz.
Get red.
The quiz where you have to yell your name.
I'm
still
glad
really
Ben's
bitter
explaining
about
the
that.
rules because I'm pretty sure Vivian actually knows how it works, but Ben's like, so this is how the game works. Just
I
to
know how it
remind
works.
myself. It's
You
just
say
to
your name
remind
and you reply.
It's just, it's so easy, right? So easy. It took us to get there, Vivian, but we got there.
Sorry, for some reason that doesn't register. So the theme for the music today is parades. So we're gonna have plenty of cool parade music for you all evening. I'm gonna start the first one. It's one I've played before in a podcast a very long time ago. It is from
We don't speak about that.
It is from Stars on Parade, but it is actually the sort of like Parisian instrumental version of it. It's completely inexplicable why this was even made, but I think it's.
I thought it was Italian themed.
Is it Italian? Is it? It sounds,
Yeah.
but it kind of sounds like Ratatouille,
Yeah, that's like.
It's very French, yeah.
right? I think it sounds like the Ratatouille soundtrack. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Is
this
it one of the demo versions?
so
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. On the
but-
CD single release, they included like a bunch of like demo versions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yes,
is
it's on there.
CD. Yeah, it's cool.
Mhm.
I bought it and I was so happy when I found it was on there.
I bought the CD and then thought, oh wait, I don't have a CD player. Because I live in the
I don't either.
2017s.
Yeah.
I had the Dreaming Up CD, and I had to like go and find a CD player to load it onto my Mac.
I miss CDs. I miss Disneyland Paris CDs.
Yeah.
All right,
They
so
still sell them. They still sell them in the resort. Like they still have CDs.
yeah.
CDs from like
And
2006.
Yeah.
And they all say Disneyland Resort Paris on them
Yeah.
because they're that old.
But they keep saying that they're working on some kind of, online deal. Like, we're supposed to get the New Year's song, we're supposed to get so many things, and I don't know, it just is not happening. Anyway.
This is why people can listen to this podcast for all those like cheeky songs that aren't available anywhere else.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
like
so
like an exclusive
There's
soundtrack.
the media clips, yeah.
we're gonna listen to the Parisian/Italian instrumental version of Stars on Parade, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. Back with the DLP Report Podcast Live. That song is kind of crazy. I don't know. It's making me trip out. It's just weird.
I wish we could hear it.
Oh,
Fun fact for you guys listening, we can't hear the music.
Well, you can hear it if you connect to the live feed.
But then there's a lag, so like just
Right. Well, sorry about that.
messy.
That's just how.
I quite like our little talking breaks. We're good.
That's just how the technology works.
It's like when we all break down and go crazy.
Yeah.
Also, I have lost the music from the quiz. Sorry, Patrick.
Oh no.
It's fine. Like we just said, I don't even hear the music, so.
So I've
fine.
never heard.
Exactly.
Patrick, have you ever heard the quiz music, or do you have no idea?
No, I sent it to him in an MP4, so I know what it is.
Oh no, wait! I think I have it somewhere. Hold on. It's just that
I actually don't know what it is.
Really? What is it?
it's one of the it's a Tron Legacy theme.
Oh, is it like automatic?
I think originally it was like a different one, but then I lost that one. Anyways, you can tell I am super organized.
It's fine. We don't need it. It's grand. Don't
No,
worry
but
about
I have it. Hold on, I have it. There you go. Okay. Oh, wait, no, yeah. Yeah. So what is the theme for?
What a big difference! It's like so much ambience. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if you wanted a theme or not. So then I just ended up making out like I was 7 questions deep on one theme, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna use this theme now. But I'm gonna let you guess what it is. So am I still here, or is everything gone?
Yeah,
No, you're still here. You're still here.
Okay.
We're
I was like,
ready.
no,
We're just
media
actually
made it
listening
France.
to you.
Just warming
okay.
up. Warming up.
Basic rules apply. Say your name and then answer. Okay.
Ben.
Say your name.
Ben. Okay, and again, I'm looking for like the answer that I have. So if you have a different answer, well done you. I want the answer I have.
Wait, but what is the theme?
so-
did we say the theme?
No,
we
Oh,
have
we
to
have to
guess the
guess.
theme.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna guess it. Oh, well, the second question is very much going to give away the theme. Anyway, question number
Oh,
one.
I know the thing.
What is the theme? Question number one. What common unique feature do the following attractions share? What common feature do the following attractions share? Country Bear Jamboree, Tower of Terror, and Haunted Mansion. What common unique feature do the following attractions share?
Richie,
Richie?
they're all present in 3 different parks. Or were present in 3 different parks.
That's good. That's good, but it's not what I have. But that is pretty good. Yeah.
Do they all, Darren?
Darren?
Do they all have a pre-show area?
Probably, but that's not what I have.
So there are many answers, but you can only get the answer that Patrick is thinking about.
Were they all created by Disney?
They're all in Disney parks.
Was
Well
it
done, Ben, but you had to say your name first. Can I?
Yeah, it's okay.
Give us a clue.
Yeah, Tokyo.
The clue. It's not. It's not about. The clue is. It's about what they were used for, and not specifically like something in the attraction, but it's about what they were used for.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, which were the 3 attractions again? Country Bear Jamboree, Haunted Mansion, and Tower of Terror.
That's right.
You answered your own question. You don't get a point for that.
Yeah. Can I have another go?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh no. I realize that.
Go for it.
I was going to say all 3 of them have a version of an elevator involved.
Oh, that's interesting, but no.
They kind of do, don't they? Yeah.
If you think about Teddy Bear, she comes down
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay, I'll give you. Hang on, I'll give you a clue. Hang on, I'll give you a better clue.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, let's let me Google because I don't know. So
That's what Richie's doing right now.
Something about Country Bear Jamboree.
Well, Ash has a good answer. He says they have films. They're based on films.
Ash has already gotten a point.
Well, but are they though, or did they inspire films? Oh, did they inspire
Inspired
films?
Yeah, Ash got the point.
The Twilight exists already, though.
They inspired.
So which one came first, the chicken or the Country Bear Jamboree?
Well, 1997 was Tower of Terror. 2002 was Country Bears, and I have a doubt about Haunted Mansion. I don't know. I think it was like 2005 or 6, was it?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Richie,
I refuse to acknowledge the existence of Country Bear Jamboree movie.
Have you ever seen it?
No,
Oh my god, it looks like
I don't want to.
Oh, you must see it. Yeah.
Is it plastic?
it looks
so
really amazing. I thought like the Country Bears would be like the perfect kind of like hillbillies come to New York and cause shit. Like that would be a movie I would watch. You know what I mean? Like, give it to me. Anyway, okay. Question number 2. So question number 2. In what year did the original Haunted Mansion attraction open in Disneyland? Jeff?
1969.
Correct.
Oh wow!
Question number 3. What are the names? What are the names of the 3 hitchhiking ghosts in the Haunted Mansion attraction?
Richie.
Richie?
Gus.
Yep.
Are you googling?
Do you know, like, I'm actually looking at the Haunted Mansion original poster as we speak, so I've got it up.
I don't know. I can only know Gus.
I'll give you a point for Gus.
Oh, can I have a point for one of the other ones then?
Maybe. Anything else?
Jeff, there's Phineas.
Yeah, that's a point.
Yes, there is. Damn it.
And the
I've
last
forgotten
one?
the other one. I had Gus and I forgot the third one. They're like Arthur or something.
No. Does anyone know the last one, or will I just pass on that one?
Pass.
Ezra.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. I would have also accepted Dave for Phineas, apparently, because he was marketed as Dave for a while, which is less exotic. Sorry, David, but why not? Okay. Next, in terms of setting, so location, the Haunted Mansion style of attraction is unique. What is notable about the attraction's location?
David.
Yep.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Every haunted mansion is in a different land.
Yeah, correct.
Very
So, do you want to go through them all, David?
Magic Kingdom's in Liberty Square. I think the Tokyo one's in like Western Land. No, it's in Fantasyland, right?
Yeah.
The New Orleans Square for Disneyland, and then if you count Phantom Manor, it's in Frontierland, right?
And if you count Mystic Point,
Mystic Point.
And Mystic Point, yeah.
Okay, so what I mean, okay, great. Next, in what year did the seasonal overlay Haunted Mansion Holiday debut in Disneyland Resort?
Elliot?
Elliot?
1993?
No.
Richie.
Richie?
1995.
No.
Darren?
Yeah.
Darren?
1996?
No.
Jeff?
Damn it. I'm trying to remember the CD that you gave me, Darren.
Yeah, that's what I was just
I
thinking
think
as well, yeah.
Is it
When did I buy
2003?
Not 2003.
It's an Imagineering story, guys.
Viv, Darren, and Ben, you may as well just have a go.
Darren already had a go.
David, sorry.
No.
2001.
Yeah, correct.
Hey.
Yeah.
I knew it was the 2000s.
Should have got that.
Okay, so that's the Haunted Mansion holiday. But what is the full name of Haunted Mansion seasonal overlay in Tokyo Disneyland?
Oh, damn.
In English? Or Japanese?
Yeah, it has it's like in an English
It's in
name.
English, yeah.
No, in Japan it would be like Jack's Happy Dancey Fun Time.
Like the answers for the Baymax question.
Anyone?
It has like just something after it. It's like
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, Richie. Is it Nightmare?
So what's that?
Like,
Sorry,
what?
what was it?
Haunted Mansion Holiday Nightmare?
Yeah, correct. Good.
Yes.
Okay, complete the quote from Haunted Mansion Holiday. Our holiday tale is a tale that's quite charming, but during this season, it's sometimes alarming. So relax and reflect. Feel free to take pause.
No idea.
Jeff?
Jeff?
For this tale of old Sandy Claus?
Kind of, but not really. Does anyone else have a go?
Oh.
Kidnap the Sandy Claus? I don't know. It's all about Sandy Claus.
Yeah, I feel like Jeff can have it. While we tell
Yay.
you a tale about Dear Sandy Claus. Correct.
Yeah.
What is the name of the proprietor of Mystic Point and his animal companion?
Jeff.
Jeff?
Is it? No. It's Lord Mystic and Albert, no?
Can I have his first name, please?
Ooh.
Henry?
Correct.
Yeah.
Which American composer is credited with composing the theme for Phantom Manor at Disneyland Paris?
Oh.
Yeah, I do know this one, but I don't.
I feel like we should all know that, but somehow we don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Richie.
I thought there was more like Haunted Mansion / Phantom Manor stands, and apparently I was like, meh.
This is like super questions, though.
Cone says Buddy Baker.
No, that was the original. I'm looking for Phantom Manor.
Oh, Luke says John Debney.
Correct. Well done, Luke. You're a
No idea
One
who that
point,
is.
1 point for Luke.
well
over in Northern Ireland.
Okay, so the next question is a different type of question. So I want you to tell me the number. So you're going to have to do some math here, okay? So I want you to tell me the number. So I want you to add the number of singing busts in the original Haunted Mansion attraction to the number of singing busts present in the Phantom Manor attraction in Disneyland Paris. So I want you to add the two numbers together and tell me the answer. Add the number. Yep.
None.
Yeah. Correct. There's five in Disneyland, and there's only 4 in Disneyland Paris. Yeah.
Yeah. The most like where's the fifth?
Yeah, like the one that isn't it the one that's like slightly lying down on like his
that's
side.
broken over. Yeah, absolutely.
I pretend I know that, but I was watching YouTube videos all afternoon. So, and the last question.
We're spending the afternoon.
Yeah, it was just like whatever. Last question: which Disney legend provides the voice for the ghost host in the original Haunted Mansion attraction?
Richie.
Yeah.
All threes.
Correct. Well done.
Yeah.
So there's a tie. The 1 week I didn't plan a tiebreak question. There's a tie.
Quick, find one.
Yeah, I can't even make up a tiebreak question. Well
maybe,
done. So we have
maybe
two
David can use one from his quiz yesterday.
I've been hearing a lot about this quiz yesterday, David. So apparently, I have like competition there in Everton. It's great.
There's room in this quiz town for everyone.
Quiz off.
All right. So who are the winners? We have 2 winners who win absolutely nothing like every week.
I have like 3 other questions, but they're not related to Phantom Manor or.
Oh, that'll do. That'll do. Let's do those.
Go for it.
Okay, right. Will I do all 3 of them or just one?
Do all 3.
Let's do all 3 of them.
Do all 3.
Okay, right.
It's quarantine. We have months.
Which restaurant once stood where the current annual pass office stands at the entrance to Disneyland Discoveryland? Jeff?
Café des Visionnaires.
Correct.
Yes.
Damn it, Jeff! You know everything.
How many Disney theme parks have the attraction Mickey's PhilharMagic?
Jeff.
Richie.
4?
No, that's incorrect, Richie.
3.
No, that's incorrect.
Elliot.
Damn it.
Ben.
5.
Wait, what?
Correct. Which is the 5th? What?
Hong Kong.
I've got DCA, Magic Kingdom, Paris, Tokyo,
and Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Yeah.
Hong Kong have it?
I didn't know Hong Kong had it.
Yeah, Hong Kong has it.
Really rinsing that thing.
And
how many of them opened in the last 3 years?
Yeah.
Well, it's like in Paris, they open when it's cold and when it's hot. It's just
I feel like
shuffle guests in.
I feel like I've never done it on any of the other ones, but I feel like at least in Discoveryland, it's like Illuminations where you can just go and sit down and not be outside for a while. It's like fine.
Do you remember when we were having our Richie? Do you remember when we were sitting having our award winners and they accidentally uncovered the sign?
Oh my god, yeah!
And like the park manager was like, "What the hell are you guys doing?"
And it's funny because in the next segment we have questions, and there is one about PhilharMagic, so we'll talk about PhilharMagic again.
More questions? Oh,
Question from the audience. We have many questions today, so we're gonna have 2 segments of questions because there's a lot to get through.
So one more question, Patrick.
There's one more question from Patrick.
Yeah, last question. What iconic Disney attraction is the store World of Disney themed to in Shanghai Disneyland's Disneytown?
Oh, shoot. Wow.
How do you find those questions?
Well, I've
He's
been
been to Shanghai.
so I know.
He's well travelled.
Oh, nice.
I do not
I'm
know
gonna take
enough
a
about
guess. Richie.
Shanghai.
Do not
Richie.
know.
What the
Let's just
obvious
choose-
answer, Richie?
No,
The obvious
I'll
answer.
choose Peter Pan. Why not?
No.
Is it Jeff? It's
Jeff?
a small world.
It is correct.
I just
Really?
forget that it's like the world.
Yeah, they're all in their little
Well,
boats.
yeah.
It's all kind of like
Aw.
green and everything because they're like around the globe and whatever. It's great.
I just
Anyway.
went for it because of the whole world thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
it
I
would
just
make
thought.
sense.
Yeah, and because they don't have Small World there, so
Yeah.
That's sad.
Oh,
So
Patrick,
we're
here's a
going
question
to-
for you. Patrick, did you ride Peter Pan in Shanghai?
yeah.
I only watched a video of it literally yesterday, and it's incredible.
Right? I was shook.
We went on it after Ignite the Dream, and it was like 20 minutes, and it was like, so we were like 20 minutes, but finally we literally walked on. We did it, and it was like cool because it was like all the LEDs and all the lighting is like 100%, and you can see
it's
like
the same but different.
Yeah, it's like ultra. It's ultra HD, but it's still not an attraction that I would wait an hour for.
Oh no, yeah,
Does
absolutely.
it get
I'd do
big
it
queues in
once and
Shanghai then?
Well, sorry.
Does it get big queues in Shanghai?
Yeah, well, I remember when we were there. Anyway, we would pass by like during the day, and it would be like 75 minutes for Peter Pan's Fire. I was like, not a hope in hell.
It's like the one
it
ride that always
has
has
to
a
be a
huge
fantastic
queue, and
thing.
every single time you walk past it, you're like, why?
Yeah,
Yeah, it has to be fantastic.
Ash
yeah,
says Patrick has strong opinions about Peter Pan in general.
I really did, but I'm trying to be neutral here. Like, one of my best friends, he used to share my opinion. I went to Shanghai with him, and then when he's in Paris, he's like, let's do Peter Pan. I'm like, no, I don't want to. But like, I think it's just because like it does get such a long wait time. It kind of instantly makes it a bit more desirable because it's always like 60 minutes.
And the ride
Yeah,
vehicles are
that's
kind of fun. Like,
That's a
it is a
classic.
fun concept.
It's a classic. Yeah.
I wish they did more
I-
like that. Like,
I just can't get behind any ride that has me in it, so I'm sorry.
Well, the little mermaid ride that we were supposed to have has the same ride system where you have like the
yeah,
shells were suspended.
It would have
from the
been
ceiling.
so much better than that.
I
Crap.
wonder why they didn't do more like that. Like, it has to be some sort of like weird capacity or maintenance.
I
issue or
think it
something
has,
like
but
that. They
the
really never
attractions
did
have
it
such
again.
low capacity. The
Yeah.
orange
You
mover
have
gives
to,
them such a high capacity.
If you have
Yeah.
two of them that are low capacity and you put them like right next to each other, wouldn't that automatically kind of like reduce demand for the other one, even if the other one doesn't have that much better capacity? I feel like that would not be a stupid idea.
Yeah, but I mean, I think also what happened when the park opened, they realized that Europeans wanted more roller coasters, and the other one that was sort of like coming up was Space Mountain, and so that got priority with the budgets and everything. And then after that, we all know what happened to finances, and so here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are 20 years later, not another attraction.
27 years later.
Would you? That's a question. I have two questions before we cut away from this. Question number one: do you think it's a more blessing or a curse that we didn't get the investment? Because, like, if we got it now, we might get something better. Is it like, I feel like it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, if that makes sense? Because like we would have got something that would have like probably not have stood up as well in the test of time. Like, would it, like, if we had a like Little Mermaid ride or a Beauty and the Beast ride, we'd probably just treat it like Pinocchio and Snow White and just never go on them.
Maybe. I think
I don't know.
The choices were really weird. Like, why did Snow White and Pinocchio get made, but not Beauty and the Beast?
Well, no,
and
because
Mermaid?
when,
I guess they
when
were
the park
newer. They were
they
newer.
were too late. The
Yeah.
park was designed in 1980s,
Yes.
and these films weren't out yet.
But I do think that Fantasyland adult rides have a kind of timeless quality. Like, I do actually go on Pinocchio and Snow White more than like you think. Like, I do enjoy them.
But I feel like if DLP was even built 5 years later, Fantasyland and even Adventureland might be very different, because they would have probably built Lion King and Aladdin attractions in Adventureland, and probably like Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast in Fantasyland, like from when the park opened.
Because when you think of how popular princesses are today in Disneyland Paris, if you made a Little Mermaid attraction or Beauty and the Beast attraction, even like more than 20 odd years on, it would still be a hit because that's what people want.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame that DLP doesn't have enough space to do like a proper new Fantasyland expansion. But I think that would be sort of like great.
I always wondered how the Little Mermaid ride would actually fit into that space.
Right?
Yeah, like how do you
It's quite a small space.
Yeah.
Well, so
Isn't
behind,
there is room back there.
it's not. Behind, there's loads of space. But
You probably have to bulldoze some buildings that have been built there.
Something would have to go a little bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then how do you manage guest flow during the parade when people are trying to go on this attraction and come out of it as the parade's going past? Like, logistical nightmare.
Yeah. All right. Well, Patrick, thank you for the quiz, as usual.
Yeah, very good quiz, Patrick.
It was most
Yeah.
interesting and difficult.
I promise I won't do a theme next week. I thought people wanted the theme, so I was like, Phantom
I
Menace.
like themes. Themes are fun.
One
Yeah, I like
question before we go away from this. Just because I like it, because I know Phantom Manor people are very passionate about Phantom Manor. Do you think one day, not that it could, but like, do you think it would be a receivable idea that like Haunted Mansion would come to Phantom Manor?
No.
Not practical.
I think that's what
Just like,
they tried to do this time.
And people revolted.
Like,
No, I
the
don't
whole
think
thing was
so.
a giant wink, like, oh, Haunted Mansion reference. You know, Haunted Mansion.
The
reference.
the music was so awful.
I'm
When I
glad
wrote
that-
it with the music,
Everything
it was
Tom Fitzgerald
awful.
touches turns to giant trash.
That lasted, what, 36 hours before we put the CD back to regular?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, guys, before we go on break, so I just saw this on Twitter, but do you know they're selling Galaxy's Edge drinks in supermarkets around California?
Yeah, saw that, yeah.
Oh,
It's
man.
not even in California. That's in somewhere really weird, like
Florida.
Alabama or something like that.
What?
Isn't it like
No, it's like in
12,
Alabama. It's not even like in state. It's like out of state.
it's like 12 for $5.99 or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
God.
Because they were
No
clearly,
AP discounts
trying
in the
to get away
supermarket.
from the Disney bloggers and stuff. They're like, oh, if we get them out of state, at least like WDWNT won't find them.
Well, here we are. All right, Patrick, because you're the game master and because it's your turn, you get to pick the song. What have you chosen? So the theme today is parades, in case you missed the first one.
So, yeah, a controversial opinion maybe, but I just thought I enjoy it, and I know Ash does too. I chose Pirates and Princesses just because it's been on the watch party recently. And I thought it just brought back some memories. It's not, I know, like, it's very kind of divisive in the community or whatever, but I met a lot of nice people during that season, so it just has some special memories in my hair.
Oh,
Thanks, Patrick.
Oh,
Thanks.
So
How do
kind.
you know he's talking about you? All right, so we'll be back in 2.5 minutes after Pirates and Princesses. Make your choice.
Use your inner power, let your voice be heard. Use your inner Get on up and dance. You've got princess power. Get up and raise your hands. Look to your inner power. Even better you choose. A pirate or a princess, it's all up to you. Use your inner power. Let your voice be heard. Use your inner power. Remain undeterred. Pirate or princess power. Don't be led astray. Set your sights on the horizon and seize the
Hi ho! All right, we're back on the GLP Report podcast.
You didn't give us the countdown.
I did. I wrote,
He did.
I wrote 30 seconds in the chat. Oh, Jesus.
Well, we ignored you.
It would be helpful if you could hear the music, but Alice, I have not found a way to do this. But maybe.
No, it's good. We're
You know
fine.
what I'll do next time? I will put my earphones on my microphone so you can hear it. Would that make sense?
No.
Okay, fine. Complain, but
Like,
don't want a solution.
It's a nice chat moment. You complain. I don't complain.
No, that's fine. All right, it is question time, and we're going to start with Eduardo, who, remember last week, asked a question about Stitch in the studios, and everyone was confused.
He did.
Well, he has written to clarify his question.
Yay.
His question was, do you think Stitch Live will fit with a new theater district theme in Production Courtyard? What is happening with Stitch Live? Are we keeping this? Is this going to be a theater? Is this what is Stitch Live? What is going to happen to Stitch Live?
Maybe
I
they'll.
feel like they have no money to
update the
change
show.
it.
So like maybe because you know like you have like Turtle Talk with Crush. Maybe they can update the character choice.
But
Like same show format, different character.
Yeah, but I feel like because in their little survey, Stitch comes out quite high, so they're like, ooh,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
never
well-
getting rid of Stitch. But it's more like
No.
the formats. Like I feel like everything else will be sort of shows in that area.
I've
Yeah.
done Stitch Live before in like a couple of months ago with Jack and Sadie, and it was like so much fun. I had like lots of fun. It's like stupid but really funny. It's like
I love
shows.
I love Turtle Talk.
Did you
Turtle
ever get?
Talk
Did you have a fight with an octopus? Yeah.
I enjoyed Stitch Live the first time I did it, and then the second time I'm like, okay, it's kind of the same thing.
Did you ever get
No,
singled out by
like-
Stitch? Like, did he ever call you out? Because he called me out once, and it's fun, but also embarrassing. But fun.
I've done it twice and get called out both times.
So you're like, never
I've
again.
only done it twice. I'm never going in that thing again.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting because I don't know. Everything else is going to become a theater, and then Stitch is it going to become the Stitch
Well,
theater or like?
Is it now? Is it in 15
12,
years
yeah.
maybe?
Well, is it? Yeah. Well, we'll see. But well, the thing is, they cannot leave Production Courtyard in that state and just have Avengers Campus like just have a beautiful entrance just there. No, I don't know. It just doesn't. Maybe
Production Courtyard is like a wasteland at the moment. It's just
it
a
is, but then
huge,
you're just
vast,
gonna walk in
open
and
space.
you'll see at the back of it, you'll see this beautiful entrance with like landscape and probably an amazing sign or something for Avengers Campus, and then you can't just leave Production Courtyard looking like a trash bag. I don't know.
I'm gonna say you probably can.
We've done it for the last 20 years.
Oh, God. Well, they're
Walt
gonna-
Disney Studios. Walt Disney Studios like hold my beer.
Yeah, I mean, clearly we've
Like,
been
they'll
able
have,
to
like, that
deal
big
with the
opening
backlog
event,
for
and
those
they'll be
years.
like, oh, let's just put some walls up anyway because this is who we are now.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, it's sure going to be an interesting few years. A few year, because technically if they open Avengers Campus next summer, that means that they have about a year to fix Production Courtyard as well.
Well, let's just say years because at this stage it probably is going to be.
No, we'll be fine.
I think
Campus is almost done-ish.
I
No, it's
really
not.
don't. I barely finished the frame. Like the hard bit
Shut up! In
inside.
my head, it's done. I'm going there tomorrow.
I think we haven't heard anything about Production Courtyard, so my expectations of them having done anything this time next year is 0.
Well, something else that they were saying as well is that they were going to remove the stage after Electroland this year, and so now Electroland has been removed. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, no, because with Electroland they can just put up the temporary stage. I think the bigger problem was having the permanent one. I don't know.
Well, they were gonna use the stage for Electroland and then remove it.
Yeah, and obviously they had the Marvel season before.
In the Marvel season,
now
but then
they don't.
after Electroland, basically in July, they were going to remove it if none of this shit show happened. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually remove it when the parks reopen, and keep moving on with that idea. Anyway,
That'll make that area even more barren.
well, I don't know, because it's kind of nice to see Tower of Terror. Like they used to have like planters there and stuff, and it would work with Tower of Terror.
It's a really nice. Yeah, it's really nice, but instead of just having like this massive blank open courtyard that had a stage, so even when they weren't using the stage, you were like, oh, okay, it has a purpose. Now it would just be, here's a big blank open courtyard.
Right. I mean, does the park ever have a purpose? So the next question, are we done with this one? The next question is the question about PhilaMagic. Why is PhilaMagic in Discoveryland Theatre? What would you do with that space? And if Buzz must stay, could the Visionarium be adapted to that location? Well, I can tell you that no. But
No.
yeah, I mean, the story of PhilaMagic is kind of an interesting one. They were basically they were like, that like single guy who keeps going from relationship to relationship. They had like various shorts, festivals, whatever in there.
Well, it was
years.
after Captain EO, right?
And then finally
Michael
they tried to
Jackson
put
was starting to
something
get
permanent.
problematic.
Yeah, I mean, they kept like and then Honey, I Shrunk the Audience went away. Why did Honey, I Shrunk the Audience go away? Was it just not
so
popular
that went
anymore?
away because Michael Jackson died, and they wanted to bring back Captain EO for that as a tribute thing.
But then Honey, I Shrunk the Audience never came back after that.
Yeah, so the tribute thing stayed in Paris for like 6 or 7 years. It was a long time.
So Honey, I Shrunk was dated before it even got to Disneyland Paris, I think.
Right, but I feel like at least he had a theme, and it would fit in Discoveryland. It was somewhat futuristic.
It did fit somewhat, yeah.
I've seen like loads of pictures of when it was even until like the late 90s, where like Honey, I Shrunk the Audience was like a main attraction, and people were queuing a long time.
I enjoyed it. I waited like an hour or so for it when I first went.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Disneyland Paris is that they have way too many theaters and not enough shows. Yeah. So like it's cool like that they put the Frontierland Theater the way it is now, whatever. But like the problem is now trying to get Atten into it, because like apart from the festival of the Lion King, what else are they going to put on there? Nothing.
Well, it's funny because
loads of things they could do.
No, but like there's so many things they could do with each land. Like they like in Frontierland and like whatever could have like a Toy Story little mini show or something, and then in like Discoveryland it could have like I don't know.
Another Toy Story show.
No, I think.
Well,
I
Discoveryland
think
could have a Stitch show because clearly they think that Stitch can fit everything, including.
Frontierland.
Yeah, well, Stitch can
Merry
fit.
Stitchmas, everyone.
Stitch can fit anything, but I feel like Discoveryland is kind of his thing, maybe, because he's an alien and stuff, and he came on a spaceship or whatever. I don't know. I'm not good at Stitch. Don't kill me.
So go back to the last question. I wouldn't be mad if they moved Stitch Live to Discoveryland Theatre. I feel like it's in the part of Discoveryland that's quite spacey anyway, like the Star Tours area that's not as steampunk.
That is a great idea, actually. They should put Stitch Live in Discoveryland. Just move the whole damn thing. And you just, like, because Discoveryland doesn't really have any, kids' rides apart from, like, Orbitron and Buzz. Actually, they have
Autopia.
Okay, they have plenty of kids' rides.
That's a good idea, though, because, like, Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor that's in Magic Kingdom, that's like a similar kind of deal, and that has a huge capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to like remove the seats, which is fine because they're all like moldy, and then they have they have the screen, they have the stage. They could build a set in there Maybe like a
Yeah.
smaller set that fits into the room. You know,
Mhm.
you can use the same doors in and out.
Mhm.
It's fine. Just like
Yeah.
the whole walk-through doors. It's
Even
fine.
still, though, like Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor at Magic Kingdom, that's like a huge room for like a similar
Yeah.
style show.
Yeah.
Like a huge room.
I think the thing that's always a bit tragic with these things is that, you know, when you go to like Stitch Live or Mickey's Thriller Magic and you go in and it's like you're in a room that's like 10 times way too big for the amount of people that are going into the attraction, and it feels a bit tragic.
Yeah.
It's like 8 people, and for like the next show of Stitch Live is starting, and they're like trying to get people to go in because the literally probably going in. I
Yeah,
feel
but
like
funny enough, Filler Magic, I feel like every time I've been there, it's been quite full. Like,
You know what depressed me about that, the PhilharMagic, and largely that theatre is that pre-show room is the most depressing place you'll ever stand. I'm sorry, it is horrific.
it was nice
I
when
remember
they had
Honey-
the Kodak pre-show. That was
yeah,
cool.
for Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, they had that, and that song was beautiful. That
Like,
remix
True
of it, I
Colours,
still have
yeah,
it.
Yeah, and it had like images. It was like basically like giddy images of like happy people that were just hugging and stuff.
It was
but
Cyndi
it was-
Lauper,
How
wasn't it?
It was,
inspirational.
yeah, it was.
Cyndi Lauper sang the song, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it had, it was like Ben said, these really happy images, and then I think the final section was like people being happy in a Disney park and how Kodak captures that moment.
Oh.
Yeah.
But now,
I think
now
that's-
they'd have to get a different sponsor, like I don't know, Samsung or something.
Yeah. What was
I
the
like
old
my Town Square
Kodak
photography
song?
went away as well.
There
Purell.
was like the old Kodak song from Epcot. I can't remember
Purell.
what
Who
it's
said
called.
Purell?
Sorry.
It's, Richie, it's the same one.
Oh, is it the
Same
same
song.
one?
Yeah,
No way.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
Alright. So the
That's
next
interesting
question.
because
Oh,
Honey, I
sorry.
Shrunk the Audience used to be at Epcot as well.
Yeah, it was made for Honey, I Shrunk the Audience and Epcot, and it just
Oh,
brought the
yeah, I
exact
didn't
same thing
realise that.
across.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't realise.
Because I've actually heard it at Epcot only.
Mm.
Yeah. Because I remember like pretending I was like at a concert with a lighter in the air with my friends.
Mm.
I was a teenager. All right, so the next question is kind of linked to what we were just talking about shows and stages. Could this be the perfect time to stop the season and invest on a permanent show on Castle Stage or in the Frontierland Theatre? So instead of doing several seasons,
Do
to
it
just have like a
anyway.
year-long show. Because if you look at Magic
So-
Kingdom, the
Maybe
Yeah.
just bring an anniversary show back.
Yeah,
the
it
Friendship
doesn't
Fair
need to
at
be
Magic
one or the
Kingdom
other.
is so high quality and it's so well done, and they've
Yeah.
worked really hard on it.
It's amazing.
And it's been running for
But-
many years, and it's kind of like a staple, and it's great. And it doesn't need a season to happen.
They need a core.
It shouldn't be
show
one
for
or
that
the other.
Castle Stage. The Castle Stage
But-
should never be left empty a single day in
Absolutely.
the park.
Absolutely.
But Friendship Fair has seasonal bits to it. So if you
Yeah,
go
like,
Halloween,
they do like
play
Bees with
Maple
Bees,
Bay,
don't
Oh
and
yeah, 'cause
Christmas
it's
will be
super
a
like-
Christmas
busy.
song again. So they
Yeah.
do like seasonal
I-
bits to it. Makes it much better.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't mind if they had like at Halloween and Christmas. They had Halloween and Christmas shows, but then January, like a core show came back. Like I feel like
Yeah,
there should
absolutely.
always be something presented on that stage, or like David
I
said.
remember when Winnie the Pooh was on that stage.
Me
Oh,
too.
that was
Oh.
cute.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Christopher Robin was in that show.
I think realistically, though, the problem is at Disneyland Paris they've cut way too much, and things like that which would be normally a thing that should be standard, they've just cut. And the problem I have with seasons is like you get it every now and again, but then if not, then marketing is probably kicking up a fuss because how are they going to get people to book it?
Yeah.
Like, so if you have to choose between one or the other, I do understand why they're trying to like put seasons out to get people to come back, because basically they're doing the same old thing with like minimum resources and trying to brand it as something new.
Of
But
course.
I would like to think if we could have both. But I think in theory, we've got the problem with Disney Paris is even if we do start making money, which we'll never know, they'll always because we're so used to working with a lot less than other parks. Will they even want to bring stuff back or like a permanent Castle Stage show? Will they even or will they just say, "Oh, we've gotten away so long, we're never doing it. We can continue to kind of get away with it now," like you know? Because
That's exactly how I feel about things like you know, like the Dapper Dans and like the little bands that you used to have, that kind of stuff. I don't think in my lifetime I'll ever see that stuff in Paris.
No.
But I feel like if you look at the way Disney World works, it's what they're selling to people in the US is like this magical vacation, and the product is the magical vacation that you keep going back to. And of course you expect to have new things and changing things, and they do have seasonal things and, you know, new attractions, new things. But globally, their marketing campaign is always about going to Disney World.
The core product
is the product. Yeah. And if you go to California, the thing with California is that people over there, Disneyland is so like part of their lives that basically you're just selling the Disneyland experience. They do also have seasonal things, but you're just selling the Disneyland product, and people know what it is, and people come for that. But I feel like in Europe, it hasn't become a big family tradition enough for people to just say, "Oh, we're going to experience Disneyland Paris vacation this year again." They just need a reason.
I think you also.
I think that's a good way of putting it, actually, about like the Disney World, just people going to the actual core product rather than that. That's a really good analogy.
Will Disneyland Paris ever get to like a stage if they don't invest? And that's the thing that I don't.
Exactly, the core product isn't there.
They need to get there. They need to kind of get more investment in. They need like the whole thing of spending money to make money. I feel like Disneyland Paris likes to spend money, but not particularly in ways that are logical or kind of like.
Well, they've got a formula now, haven't they? With the 4 stages in the hub, it's a formula. It works. It can be interchangeable. It shouldn't work because parade stops have never really worked. Wonderful World of Disney Parade used to do a parade stop, and it would take them hours to get that parade through the park. It shouldn't work. But they've got a formula that works.
Every 10 minutes.
Yeah,
but I think also, you know,
there were long
where you're selling, right? It's what you're selling, like Ben said. So the
you can promote it. Yeah,
having a new season means having a new
when
product,
you open so you open in 1955 in Disneyland, and the world was very different in 1955 than it was in 1992. Like that's just a fact. Like you would not get away with the same things.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I think Paris will grow into a place like these seasonal celebrations with the hub shows, and like they've got this idea of a formula that they're using and reusing, and I think eventually that will become part of the culture in Paris in the same way that all the little things have become part of the culture in Disneyland.
But I feel like they need, like Patrick said, they need to invest in those things so that people know that they're going to be there when they visit every time, and they'll actually go expecting to have all those little magical touches.
Because those things take years to sort of like ingrain like into like cultures and stuff like that. I mean, like family traditions and stuff, like the Dapper Dans of people's like traditions, like things like that have like been ingrained in families for years and years. And it's not going to happen with Paris because we're not growing up with it. Do you know what I mean? If people our age aren't growing up with that stuff, how do they pass that on? Like, there's just not the core stuff. Like,
and also remember, Disney World is turning 50, and Disneyland is turning, what, 64 or 5?
65 this year.
And we just turned 28.
Yeah.
So there's also
the thing is,
generation
we had
thing.
That.
Like, we're
that,
first generation. Like my parents enjoy the park in the US, but my parents don't really care much for the Parisian parks. I feel like now is the second generation is finally starting, where people who grew up with Disneyland Paris when they were like 5 are starting to have kids and bringing their kids to Disneyland Paris and showing them around because they're fans and they know what it is. But this is only the second generation now that's just like growing up with it. Whether like in Disney World, they already have like a third, maybe a fourth generation already.
Yeah. I think you just need to have those things there. This is the time to have those things there. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of lost forever, I feel like. Or at least for like a whole other generation until they go and visit Disney World.
The whole culture of having stage shows and like the on the hub and whatever is good until they start putting the whole show on the same level as guests and then blocking guests out from the center of the hub and then So
hashtag Frozen celebration.
Hashtag please don't bring it back next year. I'd rather have nothing.
You're right, because that's where it works. That's where it works in Europe, isn't it? The flash mob mentality kind of thing. Isn't it?
Which I think they never expected this to catch on with the European audience, and then Pirates and Princesses came around, and they were like, "Oh,
Oh, yeah, it works.
I think,
What have we created?
I think
Yeah,
when
a
it really,
monster.
the very first one that really started was Minnie's Little Spring Train during the
Yeah.
Spring Festival, where they had the Tokyo
Yeah.
song "Hop Hop Bunny Hop" whatever,
Yeah.
which would have been
Bunny
a good
Bunny
choice
Hop.
of song for this show.
Oh, yeah.
And people started to get in the middle of the hub and do the dance.
But you remember that was
Yeah.
actually started by Guest Flow. Entertainment took it over in year 2 because they were like, "Oh, this is popular."
Yeah.
I think Entertainment
Mm.
almost made it too much like organized fun. The best bit about that was
Yeah.
how organic it was.
Yeah,
Like it
'Cause
was
I remember
properly
Mark.
organic.
That's just
Uh,
Paris Entertainment, though, isn't
The
it?
gift.
I remember the Mark gif
Like-
of Mark doing the bunny and stuff.
Yeah.
People were just like, that was a
Yeah.
classic.
Iconic.
It was a really fun little thing, but I loved that.
We were just talking about that earlier today because they aired the Welcome to Spring show, and the spring season and Easter would be such a hit. I don't know why they try so hard to do something else in the spring. Like just make a good Easter/spring season with good food
Yeah,
shows,
that's what people
good
want.
fun music, and the eggs and the flower festival and some fun
Yeah.
spring
The amount of
snacks.
people that I see asking on like forums, like Disney, like family Facebook things about what the parks do for Easter, and the answer they always get now is nothing.
Yeah.
Like, sure,
I
they might
think
have a
that-
different season on, but people kind of want like, do you know what I mean? Like the eggs and the bunnies and the pinks and yellows and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
people
the
are
problem is
excited
that-
for spring. It's like the new season and the nice days, and you just want to be outside and to see the park covered in flowers and eggs.
Yeah,
and
I
absolutely.
wonder
But
though, like, is
fun
do you
things.
think one of the things that they're looking at in the watch parties, or maybe I'm overthinking this? Do you think they're watching and like going, "What do people think to these shows?" And they're just watching and going, "Okay, this is
maybe.
good. People like this thing."
I don't know. I think you give
Yeah.
them a lot of credit. I
Yeah.
think they went down the folder on the computer that had their own marketing
Yeah.
footage, and they were like, "Well, what can we put on
But-
the air to just put
But
something?"
maybe,
yeah,
but maybe some of the things that they might start doing is not so much coincidence, right? They might start bringing things and showing them and going, "Okay, well, what if we put this on and let's see what today's guests think of this show?" And
Maybe,
that
maybe.
could be a template for a future thing.
And they were
Um,
in the comments. If you saw on Facebook, they were, "Oh, we must go and see this. We must see this. We must do." It's
Yeah.
real positive.
problem-
The only thing with the hop 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 song is at the end of May, I didn't really want to hop hop along with bunnies. So
yeah.
Right. But I mean,
prob-
it's something you could
my-
start late February and end at the end of April. You know?
Yeah, it
And then
could-
you have
my
like
request
May as a
for-
buffer, and then in June you start the summer season.
Yeah,
If,
I feel like a
but-
general spring season with like touches of Easter would like you could get away with doing that for a lot longer than just Easter. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
because Easter after a while is like Easter's finished now, but like if you
But they
could get away
never
with
tried to sell it. So like they would do all of this stuff, but where was the advertising campaign to tell people that we actually have this spring
They
offering?
did have like billboard in Paris and that kind of stuff with like the big
Yeah, that's
flower.
not good enough. Like,
do they have to? Because it's always school holidays, isn't it? That 2
True,
weeks.
true.
Do they
I
need to
think,
spend money?
If there's a request for watch parties, I would love for them to show the Hyperion Mulan show. Like that thing
Yes,
was
love that show
legit.
so much.
Do you think they have like a decent video of that? I mean, it was a while back.
Probably not.
I have it
but the
all,
show was
all on like
amazing.
VHS recording on DVD, so I'll give them it.
Like,
It's a really
It
good quality too. Need to
Such
upload
a
that.
good show.
you know who to send it to.
Incredible show. Yeah.
I just remember it.
She's,
like
she's
I
gone.
Was, it was so good.
Yeah.
All
so
of the
I have
acrobatics
really vivid
and
memories
stuff.
of like
It
my
was
first trips of that
wonderful.
show. hmm
just talking
I think
about
Mulan's dad was in it. And
Oh
stuff
my
like
god.
that.
Wow, that was like 1998 or something, wasn't it?
98 it'll have
Yeah.
been, 97 or 98.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My first
Such a
memory of
great
Disney
show.
show was the Pocahontas show at the Chaparral Theater. That didn't even have a
Wow.
roof over the stage. and
Yes,
The water was
Yes.
catching
Yeah.
on fire, and they were like
that's right.
like,
That was
leaves,
fantastic.
confetti leaves at the end, and all that kind of stuff.
And the parade, they had the parade float as the boat. There was initially
Yes.
Yeah.
the boat that came out, and then it became a parade float, I think.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
was replaced by Tarzan, which was also really good actually.
Yeah, pretty good show. I remember that show as a kid as well.
Don't think I've seen Tarzan.
And then in the winter they had the Mickey's
His Winter Wonderland.
Oh,
That's
the
the
ice
one,
skating
Mickey's
show.
Wonderland.
Country Bears.
That was
The Country
That was
Bears.
so
They
good.
woke them up from the cave.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that if there was one show that I wanted back seasonally, it's that. That was brilliant.
Yes. That was really fun.
Do you know what the most
I agree.
watched party on the YouTube channel is at the minute?
Pirates and Princesses.
What?
Illuminations, people, 119,000 views. Let's talk about Illuminations.
But you need to
Oh,
realize
God.
that. But you need to realize that these shows have been on there for like 3 years. Like it's the same video. They just put a new layout over it.
So Elimination is not a new upload. When was it
No,
uploaded?
it's the exact same one, and same for
It'll be the
Starlit
25th
Princess
anniversary launch
Waltz.
one.
Starlit
Yeah,
Princess
just did it-
Waltz was the one from it's
The
the first
25th
show. They
launch.
just put
Yeah.
a new layover over it.
Oh, they just rename it. Ugh.
Yeah, it still says
Are we
like
surprised?
2 years ago.
Ah,
If you look it
crafty.
up, it still says 3 years ago.
Oh.
So nothing new.
No,
Wow.
it says 2 weeks ago.
Then that one is a new one. But
Yeah,
no,
no,
it's because it's
they-
adapted.
This one was put up on the 9th of April 2020 and it has 120,000 views.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I think
I watched the video of Happily Ever After last night. That was nice. That Disney World did.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
nice.
That's nice.
So
It's a good show.
the next question is from Richie, and he says, "Can I get a venti iced caramel macchiato with extra syrup?"
no
No?
Starbucks
Okay.
in the park.
The next question is from David, who says, "Trenta strawberry acai refresher, please." No. Okay. No. So next question. These are actual questions that are on the Twitter. On the Twitter.
The Twitter.
The Twitter.
The Vivian.
The Vivian. So Mark at the fam years says, having listened to the previous live show, it's clear you all come up with excellent suggestions for improving DLP. Thank you. Have you ever compiled them to give to management, an Imagineer, or Disney benchmark consultant?
I doubt they care.
You would get it
Tough
back
story.
in the post.
You get
Yeah.
it back in the post.
Recorded
No,
delivery.
that's
Return to
That's
sender.
that's the official line. They just send it straight back. They're not allowed to accept any mail.
Well, you could. I mean, I think he means also like maybe email or something. Well, I guess through the Inside Earth program, people can try to make suggestions in the comments or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Take
I don't
it to
know
our
if,
suggestions box, then it cuts to the trash can.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes some people at Disneyland Paris like read our tweets, or I don't know if they listen to the show, but so maybe some of those ideas trickle down, even if we don't get the credit for it, which is fine as long as they
Do you know
listen.
Do you know
I
that
would
gif
like to
of
be
like the
thanked as
printer
I leave.
printing out the piece of paper and then it going straight into the shredder and into the bin?
Yeah.
Probably what it's like.
Yeah, well, they care more about the surveys of the families at the entrance of the park than our opinion,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's still better.
The
than
ones
that
that
one.
see me
They
walk through
selectively
turnstiles.
choose.
Yeah, the one where they pretend to like check their phone when they see you. All right, so we're gonna take another break, and who is screaming behind someone? We're gonna take another break, and it's David's turn to pick the song, and this is a very special one. David did a quiz yesterday, and that was part of the music that everyone enjoyed. David, tell us about it.
It's a parade I only found out about 2 days ago, and nobody on the quiz had heard of it either. It's called Eureka. I think it was a parade that started when California Adventure opened, so that probably
It
tells
was
you about the
indeed, yeah.
quite of it.
Yes, that's right.
It's
From
actually
the
quite a good
days
song.
before Disney characters were in California Adventure.
Yeah.
If you want to see parade performers in a walking Golden Gate Bridge, then this is a parade for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had like the walking, Notre Dame, and we had the walking
Notre Dame,
Disney
yeah.
letters as well. That was weird as well. But
Yeah.
they had
They were
the
the best.
they had the walking Golden Gate Bridge, because why not? All right, so we're gonna take a break, and we'll be back in 3 minutes after Eureka.
You are so inviting, like the ocean so invited to the shore. I am so excited. anytime you miss me. I'll be ready anytime you can't resist me. Just come away with me and I'll be all you long to find. Come away with me to all you pictured in your mind. Let me be the chance for all you long to do. Come away with me. Come away and I'll be paradise for you. Come away with me. Come away with me.
Oh wow, that is such a weird song. I know you guys can hear it, but everyone else can hear it. It sounds like those like '90s sitcoms. Yeah, I don't know. Come away
Where
with me.
the lyrics are so weird. It's like, come with me, where let's
Yeah,
meet
come away,
like
and
the
then
water.
she's like, I'm so ready, you can't resist me, and I'm like, oh, it's just so not Disney. Stop it! I feel dirty.
It's the only other parade they've done that's not had a single Disney character in it.
Yeah. Well, they were going for like this adult theme park vibe.
But they
at
thought
California Adventure.
people would come to DLR and like have like just go to DCA and like that would be like a different audience. But I guess didn't work.
Yeah, that was.
But it still is a more adult park in the way that they do a lot of things.
Yeah, like the alcohol and the kind of that, like the whole Pacific Wharf area is not particularly. It's kind of just like food. So
I think it's a really good mix, though. Like, it is very strong.
They're very good attractions. I mean, the racers and everything.
I could spend a whole. I could spend a whole like 2-3 days just in DCA. That's like sounds.
Yeah.
Boy.
It's super chilled. It's really good.
Is what?
It's super chilled. Like,
It also feels like a different world. DCA.
The only thing I'll say about DCA is that I wish it was a little bit more isolated from the outside. Like when you're in Pixel Pier and all that, you kind of like see a lot.
The hotels.
You see the hotels, you see power lines, and I don't know. You see a lot of backstage. I feel like it's not, it's kind of like it's got like a Walt Disney Studio issue, but they're from the same era. But they haven't really
I think
built the berm. They haven't really like built proper isolation around the park. I guess for cost reasons, but
I think it does do its job better than Walt Disney Studios. Though, like when I'm on Pixar Pier, I do feel like I'm in a slightly better place than I do it anywhere in the studios.
I mean, the ocean parking lot does a better job than the studios at theming. So it is a lovely parking lot. Have you seen? They have like those like
They
metal
play music.
things. It is a very
They
nice
play
parking lot.
classical music.
And the outside of the mall is quite nice for a mall. They have those like windows and it's quite nice.
True.
The concrete in the car park isn't even that good. It's all like warped and bent and bumpy and everything. It's like it's nice to look at. It's just terrible to actually.
It's not good for your tyres, is it, Patrick?
Well, I don't drive, so I don't know. But
It's a nice shopping centre, though.
Top tip: you ever don't want
Do you know
to
that
pay
shopping centre
yeah,
has more annual visitors than DLP?
If you don't want to pay €25 to park or €30 to park in DLP, just park your car there and get the Oreo, and it's like $170.
That's so true.
I've done it a few times.
There's also
Top tip.
you park at,
we have money saving
park at
tips here on the
Indigo.
show.
That Indigo parking at Disney Village is actually cheaper than DLP parking.
I'm here in a better place.
And definitely if you're going to go for like a half day or if you're just going in for a few hours, unless you have an annual pass, of course. But I mean, if you're going to go just for a few hours, chances are you have an annual pass. And so you get parking for free. But, yeah. So question from Mark still. He's asking, has there ever been a D23 event in Europe? And there hasn't, but I'll take this as a question about, should we have a D23 in Europe? Because we all love D23.
There has been something. There was a couple of years ago, maybe 3 or 4 actually now. The head of D23 came to Disneyland Paris and held a meetup, if you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, it's about 3 years ago.
And he said that they were going to have a D23 in Europe, and I think he wasn't really supposed to say that.
They said they were going to have 2, one at DLP and one in London.
Yeah.
And
No, he said events in Europe, not expos.
Yeah. But then here we are,
But he
2020.
specifically said the UK and France, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I think they would be wildly successful.
I think there would be, but I think it would be more on the scale of Destination D at Disney World. Like I don't think Europe at this point has the capacity to absorb that many people and fill up an entire convention center. I feel like they could have it at like Disney's Hotel New York, the out of Marvel, in a convention center, and that's quite a big space. And you could have like the whole like booth section, and you could have conferences, and you could bring in as many Imagineers as you can, and do all this. And I think it would be really nice.
I just think for a lot of people going to LA is unreasonable for a 3-day event. So I think there'd be a lot of people who, if it was in Europe, like these sort of Comic Cons and all of that, sell out huge sizes.
Yeah, that's true. Abby says she thinks the UK alone could fill the Excel Center. Yeah, probably. If you really make it about Disney and not just Disney parks, of course, because...
Yeah, it's made it like a Disney kind of Comic-Con thing. You could probably get away with.
You need to bring in people from studios. You need to bring in people from merchandise, from all the different, like they do in the US. Because if you just do Disney parks, I think it would just appeal basically to people on this call.
I think even the little film events and things that D23 run, I think they would do really well in London and things like that.
I just wish they would officially launch the membership in the UK.
Movie.
They could have a main conference with Natasha Rothosky talking to you for a whole hour. No comments.
And at least that would also give us a platform for them to share DLP news.
Yeah, so they could like own it because it's kind of a struggle between all the parks because basically in Japan they just don't want their news to be coming out at D23. They just don't do it. And then in Paris there's sort of like a half and half. Like they'll give some news to D23, but they mostly want to keep them to themselves because they want to keep control of when it's released and how it's released and to who it's released. So that's why we don't see that much Disneyland Paris in D23, and also because people don't give a shit over there. Like the number of Europeans who get there is minimal. It's basically us, and people like watch it from Europe. But I mean, it's not really a good release platform for Disneyland Paris news. You want to release that, through Inside Ears and all the things where people are actually listening. I feel, but yeah, we always feel left out.
But I think I don't know whether I think you could sell it. The problem is that D23 Expo does so well for the company because there is very minimal cost in doing it because you want to take your studio animators to D23 to put on a 10-minute presentation. Great, they live a minute away.
Yeah, true.
All right, so adding to the request, and it's something that they were actually looking into a few years ago and even more recently. But I guess now, like everything else in the world, let's see what happens. The next question, it's kind of an interesting one. Didn't we already have that question? I feel like we already answered that question. Is DLP still partly owned by a Saudi prince? No. You have missed an episode, Mark. The Walt Disney Company now owns the entire resort. For better or for worse.
Since about 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2017. June or July 2017 was when...
He was actually one of the first to sell his shares, wasn't he?
Yeah, he sold his shares in the January.
Quite early, didn't he? We went with them.
He was like, get me out of this shit.
Didn't he get like a special deal to transfer some of his shares to like Walt Disney Company stock and stuff like that?
I think there was some kind of deal.
I remember reading stuff like that somewhere because remember big Canadian pension fund wanted to sue the Walt Disney Company and were wondering why certain shareholders were getting special buyout deals.
No, because he was the only person who could have stopped the whole thing because he had more than 5%.
He led the shareholders, didn't he? So
without him, it was impossible.
Yeah.
And important to say that different prince to who you might be thinking about right now.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of people think it's the same prince.
Right. And sometimes someone will have to explain to me the relationship and who is what, and because I'm still confused 10 years later. Anyway.
Because like Saudi princes, there's lots of them. They're not necessarily all from the same family either.
Right. Okay. All right. Next question. What would be your ideal Disney village? Should we just go around? No, or we should have like anyone ideas for Disney Village.
What your ideal Disney Village?
Yeah, ideal Disney Village. Go ahead, Viv.
Cheese factory.
Sorry, go ahead, Vivian.
No, like I don't understand the question.
What would be your
What would
ideal
your
Disney
ideal-
village? Like if you for the remodel, like how would you like it to be?
Oh gosh, I was talking about this today. Yeah.
A pile of rubble.
Personally, I think the main things that I would
Give me a big Christmas shop.
If I would pick like three things, I would say I would like Disney Village to be more open on the lake, and I would like Disney Village to have nicer buildings that are more human scale and more like warm and friendly, like that in design.
Not like tin sheds.
Like Val d'Europe, do you know, like the little...
Yes.
The outlet
it.
shopping. Yeah, they do it really well there.
Do you know that was actually designed by Imagineering?
Yeah, legit.
Like, that is exactly how it would work.
And I would say the third thing is to have more diverse and interesting shops, but are still linked to Disney. Like I don't want like a Zara in there. But for example, like they've tried those little huts with like this candle company that makes like Disney themed candle. They have like some like lavender.
I like
things.
the lavender shop.
Yeah, but unique brands that remind you of like cute French things. That's fine. Yeah. And then brands that make Disney things and some Disney shops as well, because they could definitely have a full-on Disney princess shop with a bibbidi babbidi boutique in there. They could have various. Like, they could have a Marvel shop. They had one at Disney Springs for a while. I don't know if it's still there, but they had like Marvel.
They have the bibbidi bobbidi boutique at Disney Springs as well.
Yeah,
and they actually have like external.
I feel like Disney, I've watched Bob Iger masterclass talking about like all his franchises and stuff, and I'm like, there is enough in there. I mean, you could have a Star Wars shop. I feel like people would really enjoy it if you theme it well. If you have some
Disney's in the village is like half of it is like Star Wars anyway.
Right, but it's like shoehorned in there, like
and it's landscaping as well, isn't it? So it's not. It just doesn't feel like a corridor, but a link corridor between the parks and the resorts. And I really want that light canopy back. I know they can do it with LEDs. Bring it back.
So much.
I think the Disney Gallery is something that I think should be remodeled, but the idea should be kept. And if you look at Disneyland and the Wonderground, and actually some of the shops in the parks as well, they have frequently an artist sitting there drawing. Add something to that shop. And I think that's definitely something that
I actually can't believe how well Billy Bob's has stood the test of time. Like, but
it's kind of dated in there, but
I don't think so. I think as a themed bar.
I'm surprised the whole thing hasn't crumbled from the weight of like everyone drunk.
You should have seen hurricanes in the day. That was a crazy.
I have been to hurricanes.
Have you been there?
I have been to hurricanes in 1996, I think.
I probably saw you there. Yeah, it was full of conference people just having a good time, like conference people do after these things.
I think when the sand was gone, like they had removed the sand, because originally they had like a sand sand floor, which is kind of insane.
And they
used to literally blow a hurricane through the place, and the windows would rattle and things. It was just fans blowing hot. Cold.
Oh my god! It's been like Twitter, Darren.
Exactly like that. A bit at 2 a.m.
Is how management was so comfortable with having Billy Bob's the way it is right now. When you have guests eating in the buffet up there, and at the same time you've got like a rave going on downstairs with half the cast members you saw in the park currently just sitting there getting tracked. Who thought that was a good idea?
So what? Tiana and Moana need to have a fun night as well. They're allowed.
And then there's Catherine's leaving party there.
They should just
never forget the weekend of fan days. I took David to Billy Bob's. It was like David, his fiance, and he was just like, "What is this place?" And I was like, he was like looking at the bar members, and he was like, "They're cast members," and I was like, "Mm-hmm." And so are they, so are they, so are they, so are they. And he was like, "What is this place?"
I mean, the version they have, like the Billies of Disney World. I forget what it's called. Like.
They don't have one.
They do. It's offside.
Like,
yeah.
No,
Raglan Rock. Raglan.
Yeah.
That's where all like the international cast like
No, it's the square dancing one.
But you know what?
Oh,
Cast
You know the one
members
that I mean,
go.
David.
Oh, the one you're thinking about is Offside.
Cast members
Yeah.
go also
Yeah.
to the one by Boardwalk. What is it called? Like the dance hall
Oh,
on the Boardwalk.
yes.
Because
Yeah.
I
That's
have
like-
been there for a cast member party, and it was amazing, and everyone was
It might
dressed up.
actually be called Hurricanes. I feel like it actually is called Hurricane in the US.
No, it's not.
No.
I know the one you're talking about.
It
It's not.
is.
It's not.
Wasn't it near the boardwalk? And they closed it. It was like Paradise Island or something.
That
was Pleasure
Downtown
Island.
Disney.
Pleasure
Pleasure
Island.
Island.
Yeah.
Adventurers Club.
The Adventurers Club. Oh.
Yeah.
So basically, we want
characters,
Disney Village
streamosphere.
to be a giant party.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like there is potential. You know, if they use the space better, if they add the other side of the village, like the piano entrance into it, and just theme it well, it could be actually a fun place to hang out. That you don't feel like you know you're just being punished.
Can we have some nice restaurants in Disney Village? Because like
Exactly.
They
when you
should
see,
take
like,
out Billy's
when you-
restaurant.
when you see like places like Cheesecake Factory and stuff like that in
Yes.
Shanghai, Disney Town, and then I recently went to Planet Hollywood for the first time ever, like about 6 months ago, and it was just deep fried lasagna. I'm like, I like fried, but deep fried lasagna. It was like 90s on a plate. I was like if you're gonna have like expensive prices, like at least give me like high end, like higher upward than normal scale food, and not after the meal. I just wanted to go to McDonald's.
Cafe Mickey used to be a quite a high end restaurant. It's California themed. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
In California, I think.
LA.
Yeah.
But that reminds me
And that
about
was
Planet
quite
Hollywood.
high end.
Yeah. Oh, there's a recent video that I watched on YouTube, like literally just came out. It's called like Bankrupt or something like that, and it's like the story of Planet Hollywood, and like the Disney connections mentioned quite a lot in there. So I'd definitely like Google it on like YouTube or something, and it basically follows the story of like Planet Hollywood's highs and lows, like how it was like at the peak of popularity and where it's at now. And I think there's only like 4 operational Planet Hollywoods, like 4 or 5 operational Planet Hollywoods anymore, and it cuts to Paris's. Yeah, and it cuts to Paris and it just shows like the falling down wall and like the grey muddy like things that are stuck on it. It's kind of like
I think going back to what Patrick was saying about the Cheesecake Factory in Shanghai, that's always something that's like amazed me. But Paris's Village could really be like a place where some unknown international brands could really make a European mark. Like the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
I mean,
Wendy's,
look at
Taco Bell,
Rainforest
I don't
Cafe
know,
is not
IHOP.
particularly a huge French brand.
Yeah.
And like it's
not
not
great,
but
though.
like it's
The
not great.
Rainforest Cafe still suffers from the Planet Hollywood and the fact that the food isn't good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just basically
Plastic.
they're just taking advantage of the fact that literally people will pay anything money anywhere in the village, and I think that's we should be aiming at.
If,
Like, we should be aiming at proper like restaurants.
It's kind of what Earl
like
did,
it on
right?
that.
IHOP is.
I mean, even Hard Rock
interesting.
Cafe is old now.
Yeah.
I'd quite like an IHOP. That would be nice. Thank you.
My God, no.
Can we get Blaze as well?
A Denny's.
Yes, a
yes,
Blaze.
Liz.
7-Eleven. Okay.
So basically, just a street outside of Disneyland, basically.
Yeah, just that street, Harbour Boulevard. That's what we want.
Yeah, it's literally we just want harbour, and that can be our
A
downtown.
couple of motels would be fine.
Yeah.
Kingston.
Well, that's what we have. We have a hotel. It's called Disney's Hotel Santa
I
Fe.
miss Harbour Boulevard.
So much.
I miss the guy, the balloon guy. I was joking.
Oh, at the end of the night where he was trying to sell balloons.
Yeah,
outside
where
the
he's like,
7-Eleven.
I promise I'm not doing drugs, take my balloons. That one.
I don't know what story that is, Elliot, but please tell us during the break. So next
It's
question.
a dream.
The next question, also from Gavin, is what
I just want
does
to be able to walk into Disneyland Paris with my big gulp, alright?
Yes.
so next question from Gavin, what does Disneyland Hotel need in terms of renovation? Like, what are the priorities?
Pain.
Everything.
I feel like that's a good question for Viv.
I want the princess theme
Just walk in and
rooms.
see
but
those
I
They
just-
need
Just
to
being
like
like-
change the wallpaper and the curtains.
Oh yes.
I don't know, man. It's so dated. Like, look at the Grand Floridian. Grand Floridian, like, manages to keep the same style and theme, but it manages to keep it feeling like a 5-star hotel. Whereas there's so many areas of DLH which are just so run down and dated and stuff like that. And the fact that, like, in like 2020, you could stay in a DLH room, which is supposedly a 5-star hotel, and have
Well,
a screen, like, and a quality of TV, and like the facilities that it has.
Faded wallpaper and
Literally,
I think the main issue.
better facilities, like, do you know what I mean? It's trash. Like, the prices that they charge for it is like insane when you compare like the same amount for what that would charge and go and stay in Disney World in like a really nice hotel. It's I don't know. I think
pay it, don't they? They still pay it.
exactly that's why they don't do
Doing
it. 'Cause
well.
people just pay it. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like the Disneyland hotels always has this sort of like aura and magic to it. I
Yeah.
think that's even if it's dated and everything, it's still magical. Every time I've stayed there, whether
Well-
willfully or ended up there
Yeah.
after Billy Bob's,
See,
the
I don't-
Let
rooms,
the expert speak.
the rooms are still like bringing you magic. Like I feel like you're kind of like in a princess
Yeah.
room. I don't know, Elliot. What are you implying?
What?
But I feel like but of course it needs
Yeah.
like it has like no technology.
yeah,
if you need
yeah.
to plug your phone, you have to like
Basic-
unplug 6
basic
lamps. And
facility.
it's just, you know.
Exactly. It needs basic
But,
facilities.
but DLH just has an internal issue which they've been trying to solve since February 1st, meaning they have to cut the water about every other day for 6 hours. So I mean,
Well, because
Considering
also, it's been sinking for years. I mean, how many
well,
times?
there's
Yeah.
a leak.
How many
there's a
times
leak
have
in it.
like ticketing
They
been
don't know where.
flooded by the DLH above?
Yes,
Remember
because
when
there's
they
a leak.
poured loads
There's
of,
a
like,
leak in the
acid
hotel,
into
and
the
they
hotel
just
to
don't know where it is. So
Oh my goodness.
it's been a blessing being there.
That sums up Paris, doesn't it? There's a leak and no one knows where it is.
Yeah, that's why they've literally had water cuts for like every working day.
That's every department, don't worry.
That should be that should be the general.
There's a
The
leak
new
and no
motto. There's a leak to know. That's where it is.
Next, we should take a break because it's actually time for Jeff's song. Okay, so Jeff, tell us about your song. Okay, I'm gonna do it for you. So the next song is from the first. Was it the first? Walt Disney Studios Parade. It's Disney's Cinema Parade.
Yay.
It was a good
No,
parade, like
Jeff
the
is still not
soundtrack.
back. Jeff is still not back, and it's a great soundtrack. So we're gonna recover, and when we come back, we have actually 2 or 3 more questions to finish the show. All right, we'll be right back after Disney's Cinema Parade's Lights, Camera, Action. back on the GLP Report podcast live. Let me put the sound back from everyone else. Jeff, have you recovered?
Yeah, I'm good.
There he is. I think it's the first time we had to cut your song because everyone was laughing.
Yeah.
It's a fun little piece of soundtrack, I think. Like the
I
floats
love it.
were...
I love it. It's kind of like Disney Classics reimagined towards the end. Because I only played the finale. That's what you wanted, right?
Yeah. So, okay, when they removed that parade, right? I really felt like what the studios had just went, because they also had the Good Morning Walt Disney Studios, which was also really good. Cine Folies, which was great.
Yeah.
And then they just sort of ripped all that out.
The whole park was very show heavy, and then everything went. And
but they had this idea of, okay, so the scenery and the theming is not that great, but let's really play of this is a real life film studio. So they had a lot of street atmosphere of studio things happening on like basically every corner.
Last year for a tiny bit.
Yeah, they brought it back, not quite in the same quantity. Like it was heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was cute, but I mean, it wasn't like a huge thing. It was just like a little animation.
Yeah,
but I feel like that's a thing that the Walt Disney Studios could benefit even now. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, no, I agree completely, and I think when they ripped out the parade and those little tiny shows and street atmospheres, I really felt that park went from being not great, but like, okay, I can spend some time here and have a reasonably good time, to just being like, okay, well, that park exists and it's got a few rides I like, so maybe I'll go have a little look.
But that's the problem with Disneyland Paris. Like, when they cut things, they very rarely come back. Or at the minute, there's not really much they've cut that's really come back in a big way, apart from like characters at breakfast, but now you have to pay for breakfast and all that kind of stuff. But like there's that's why it's always like, I know each park has its own difficulties, but like when other parks cut budgets, they cut entertainment. Whereas if they cut entertainment in Disney Paris, and they already have cut a lot of entertainment, if they cut entertainment in Disney Paris, the marketing has nothing to market as new. So then they cut 7 restaurants are going to close and never open again, and then this is not going to happen again. And it's hard. They're easy at taking things away, but it's very hard to bring things back. And that's the thing that I kind of think as fans we should be more kind of aware and kind of more passionate.
That's the thing that worries me the most about this virus. Actually, is that there's going to be budget cuts across the company. That's pretty obvious. And I really struggle in Paris to put my finger on the thing they can cut that will not negatively affect the guest experience. Like, you can cut a band in DCA, and it's not a nice thing, but the park will continue and it will be largely unnoticed. In Paris, you cut staffing or you cut a restaurant, and that has huge knock-on effects everywhere in the park.
At least they're skilled at doing that in Paris.
But they're not skilled because they cut in the 25th year.
Well, they've lived with cuts for a long time.
But they had so many cast members in the 25th that, you wanted to get a quick service meal. And I remember being so impressed that I could walk into any quick service restaurant and get my meal within a couple of minutes. And they cut away at that. And now I do not want to eat in the park because it takes too long.
Would you think we're too minority in that respect, that people in kind of have a kind of Disneyland Paris has kind of trained people to kind of wait. So like, even if you're there for like a day and you don't come every year and you're just coming for like a day visit, you're going to end up waiting 65 minutes at Cafe Hyperion because that's what everyone else is doing and you don't know why else to get food. Like,
I think the first time you go, but the French, like families especially, have become masters at just bringing their own sandwich. And I think a lot of other people, that message gets around, right? I
remember seeing a woman hide an entire IKEA bag of food in bushes in Fantasyland.
I saw a woman at the Auberge courtyard with tossing a salad in a big bowl and then serving it out to her kids.
Oh yeah.
Was that with you, Viv? I don't know.
I think maybe, someone sent a photo of it.
Yeah, I sent you the photo of it.
That's why I feel like I remember.
Was shocked. Yeah.
But I think those kind of images go around really, really quickly, and that's the kind of thing that will force people to not go. If it takes them so long to get lunch, then they are unlikely to visit that park.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what absolutely sends me as well? It's all these people who have like never visited anywhere but Paris, and then like we complain about these things because we have to stand in like an hour queue to get a Casey's hot dog. They cut the railroad for budget reasons. They close Walt's restaurant, and you always have these people online just like, look, why do you complain? Like, you just like hate the magic. It's like no, you're that blinded by everything. The fact that you can't see like what's actually going on here, like. You can love a place and still complain about it when they're literally like closing the railroad because they can't afford to run it. Like, in what world do we live in where that's a thing? Like in a Disney park.
Well, we were talking before about like Disneyland Paris ownership and that kind of stuff, but I feel like that's kind of when I said blessing, good or bad. I feel like that might be a little bit of the downside of things because
Yeah, absolutely.
The good thing is that if Disneyland Paris was in really, really big trouble, then I'm sure money from the US would come in. But also, when Galaxy's Edge tanked for a little bit, and when Hong Kong was stuck for cash because of protest and everything, this was of course all before this huge mess that everyone's in. Disneyland Paris was asked to do even more, to cut even more, so that they could save money in Paris to give to Asia or the US at different times. So. It's a good and bad thing, but also we got $2 billion to extend our park. So,
But that was probably happening anyway because like Hong Kong's not even owned by Disney.
Well, Hong Kong owns enough of Disney.
Has part ownership.
Disney owns enough of Hong Kong Disneyland that they would care if it was doing it like particularly poor to the to the brink of bankruptcy, because that's obviously we know they don't own 100%, but for most people in the world. All the Disney parks are Disney,
Yeah.
So the brand is the brand, no matter who owns it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Question. Why I'm confused they did these joint ventureships in the first place, but
Well, I have a question for people in the room a little bit. I have a question for people in the room. So let's imagine we come back from all of this and Paris has to cut something. They have to make up some money. What is the one thing that you will cut that will not negatively affect the guest experience?
Mickey's PhilharMagic.
But how much would that save? Like 10 euros?
Yeah. Literally.
You can't, unless you would start closing attractions.
Well, I would cut Disney animations.
Well, I mean...
Yeah.
I see it as a positive from my personal enjoyment.
but also because it's like one of the only things that actually brings people really close. So if you're still thinking like the Corona situation, why have illuminations
and
at all?
If you're going to blame Corona for many things, let's use it at least to get rid of illuminations. I think that's a positive.
Even the parade. Even the parade.
Who's playing bingo tonight?
You could get the parade for a while.
Yeah, I mean the parade. I feel like they could do that. Princess outing like they did. Like that was more like of an unscheduled thing. If it's short, and like 8 times a day, then people will not wait for it very long. If it's like a 5-minute thing.
Just one
character
bingo
needs
done.
are probably
Bingo. Oh.
So yeah, I don't know. It would be tough.
Yeah,
I mean, Disneyland Paris doesn't have much. I mean, to answer your question, Jeff, Disneyland Paris doesn't really have anything extra that it could cut without affecting the guest experience. Really, to be honest, we're kind of like bare bones.
Yeah,
Seasons,
I mean, your AP
I
price is
guess
extending.
seasons.
But it's also because people are just very demanding.
Yeah.
They just want
your AP
everything.
It's going to go up, right? I think that's pretty much guaranteed. But they're extending everyone's annual passes, so even if they extend annual pass prices...
people are demanding. I think, like...
They're expecting a certain level of service,
Experience.
Yeah.
Experience. Like, absolutely, yeah. And Paris, in a lot of places, don't...
So if they cut... If they cut illuminations, they could just put a projection show on for the evening. There's a rolling one, like the Halloween parties or something like that. They could just still do something that's rolled over a couple of hours.
Like they do at Disney World after Happy Ever After.
Once upon a time.
Yeah, something like Like
I
that,
think
where
they
it's
should- I
literally
think they
just like a
should
small
project-
projection show that rolls.
They should project Natasha's speeches on the castle. No one would cheat.
Make those turrets into the Chinese urns, some real mapping.
But I think annual pass prices are likely to go up, right? But they're extending everyone's annual passes, so that increase
can't wait
in
for that
revenue
logistic.
is going to be a long
Yeah.
way off.
Cone says to give us Dreams without fireworks. I think if Dreams doesn't, Dreams or even Illumination without fireworks, I feel like people would not be camping as much. And also, you could run it like 3 times in the evening so that people could go either at like 9, 10, or 11, and then that means that it won't be as much of a giant like crowd.
You're not having that push of people going out, and rushing off to the RER or
Yeah,
or
because
wherever.
people would see it at 9 and just go something else.
And people will spread out dinner reservations more as well, because now they're all like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we gotta go after parade, but before illuminations." Like,
But when you put illuminations on at 11 o'clock, it doesn't get dark till nearly 11 anyway, so you couldn't put it on at 9 and 10 because you wouldn't see it.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Isn't that a positive? Anyway. So back to the questions. The first one is any guesses on when and how Disney World will reopen? It does seem like I feel like they try to sound confident over there, but I don't think they realize how much they're in. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because we have a few
think the
weeks on
US
them in Europe, and we've lived through all this stuff more than them. But I don't know.
I
think
the
the
US
US
will
parks will
reopen
open
and
last.
then they'll shut straight back down again.
But I feel like
Yes.
that would be hugely damaging. And when you see like what happened at the last night of Magic Kingdom, where basically the park was like packed, and like the COVID crisis was still was already happening. Like like the the people like went in for that last evening in Magic Kingdom and packed together. They don't give a shit. So I feel
then
like
you had-
the second they reopen, literally all of Florida will be Magic Kingdom, and they will have to close it back.
Yeah, that's a real worry, and I think in the US, more so than Europe, it's happening a little bit in the UK at the moment, but they're really obsessing over reopening the economy, which is great, but I think also that pressure is going to come at a real risk of them not being ready to do it and then them having to do it again, and that's going to be even worse.
The other risk is the cast members that they've all sent home, like Epcot. Yeah. They're missing a chunk of cast members.
It's
Right, so
insane
the
amount.
CRP, they won't be able to restaff that until, even if they
Next
wanted to
year.
reopen right now, they would be able to restaff, I think. They have an intake in
takes so long.
July that they could take, but even
Yeah.
then, that would be probably about 1/4 level staffing.
Yeah.
They'll only open the America Pavilion.
Yeah.
Um,
Epcot, a celebration
and
of
besides-
most countries, of all countries, but mostly the American Pavilion.
Mostly America.
and besides, other than that, of course, they sent all the CRPs home to their home countries,
Yeah.
and Trump has travel banned them all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even if they wanted to come in, at the moment they can't.
So the next
feel like-
question is kind of linked to that: is if you have to temporarily give up one of the parks in Orlando, which one would it be?
Wait, what was that? Sorry.
If you have to
Studios.
temporarily give up one of the parks in Orlando, which one would it be?
Hollywood Studios and permanently.
Hollywood Studios, because you couldn't have that crowd gathering to do
But
their,
it has
their
Galaxy's
acts in the
Edge,
morning.
so-
Oh my
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
you can't have those people
Rather go to
gathering.
Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland. Galaxy's Edge in
That's a
Disneyland
good
better.
point, actually, Darren. If we come
Oh,
back
yeah.
and there's virtual queues, everyone's going to
How'd
be
you do that?
congregating just randomly around the park on their phones trying to get queue positions.
Yeah, but that's
That's
not
really
really
dangerous.
They'll be gathering outside attractions. Yeah,
I
The-
think they'll make
the move
you
is
buy
just
a
shifted.
ticket and book it the night.
Yeah.
I think they'll make you book it before you go, so you'll have to book it the night before or something, and you'll pick your
Good
ride.
point. Yeah, that's a good point.
yes, that would work.
It'll
that'll
just
be
come
fun.
out with standard fast pass probably, and that'll be the only thing. If you have a fast pass on your normal 60 days, you ride. If you don't, you don't.
Oh, that'll be fun.
That'll have
Oh,
to be
God.
it.
Do you
Oh,
guys
boy.
do you guys see? And that's going to be the last question I think for today, because we've been going for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Do you guys see DLP ever reaching the American or even the Asian standards, and what would it take? Ooh, big question.
It
I
depends on
think
what
it would
area.
take for the teams to learn the product would be a great
It's
start.
new teams. It depends on what areas though. Do you know what I mean? Because like some of the productions that Paris pulls off are incredible. If you look at something like on the level of Max Live, like what some of these teams can create is world class. Like it really is. It's just it's inconsistent. So I think that's where they fall down. Like Max Live is like one of the best Disney shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, fully
and that
agree.
Was Paris. That was Paris that pulled that off. Do you know what I mean? That's internal Paris teams. They did that.
And when you see that,
Surely they had other influences and they had helping hands, but like
that short film for Tower Terror was just amazing out of nowhere.
Right? Absolutely. Like they out of nowhere they pull this random stuff that they can pull together. Like the special defense team. I said it before, like a few episodes ago. Some of the stuff the special events team pulls together for like these events and like special events and things like that, they're incredible.
I think
so like this talent is
generally,
there.
And like
entertainment.
Surprise Mickey the first year, for example, that was a big surprise. That was super
Yeah,
fun.
that was fun.
For probably the
they
tiny
can
budget
do
that
these
they had.
cute shows.
7 times
Look
out
at
of
Jungle
10,
Book Jive,
entertainment
like-
comes out good. 7 times out of 10.
But I think overall, there I feel, and that might be like a boring or operational question. I feel like Disneyland Paris relies too much on third party
involvement.
HR, like third party agencies for cast members, and also they rely too much on short term contracts. And so bringing in those people who have not been taught the Disney way, who are not necessarily passionate. Some of them, I'm sure, are, even in like the cleaning team from Onet, but sadly, a lot of them are not. And also people who are on temporary contracts, working in restaurants, working in shops for the summer, like they may not really want to be there. And I mean, this has to do with a ton of different factors, like how much can DLP pay people, how long can DLP keep people. Of course, workforce in France is much more expensive than in the US. And let's not talk about like China. Like how much do they pay Shanghai Disneyland cast members? Probably a quarter of what they pay Paris, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like maybe they can't have as many cast members on all the time. We also have like pretty low seasons, but I mean in the end I feel like that's such a huge part of the experience is that you have such great cast members. Most of the permanent cast members are really amazing, but then they kind of diluted in like all the temporary cast members that come in.
I think in general though, Disneyland Paris just kind of needs to learn what it's doing well and kind of stick with that, because I feel like there's so much. But there's a lot that they could do. But I feel like like we said earlier, I feel like they spread resources far too thin, far too often. And if they kind of just picked a lane and stuck to the lane, they would end up getting somewhere. And I feel like the problem is like there's problems with food, there's problem with shows, there's problem with merchandise, there's problems in pretty much most. There's problem with the app, there's problem with like lots of things like that. But if they just picked one and
there's
went
a leak
with it,
and they don't know where it's from.
Yeah. I think they just need to kind of like they're and I know it's good that they have they're trying to do something with the app, but at the end of the day, this is kind of like what we need like a system overhaul, not just trying to make an app work with what they have already, because in 25 years or in 10 years or in 15 years, the problem's going to be the same, but they'll just have a shiny app that's using Windows XE or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's also like too many cooks in the kitchen too many times. It's really hard to get anything approved or anything done because everyone has an opinion and so many teams are involved and it's just so many people working in the offices that in the end like nothing gets decided in time, or it's always done last minute because no one can agree on something. Whether maybe if they had like better people who had like more responsibility and more decision power directly to just do their thing, if you know that they're good, then things would happen in time and better and maybe better organized.
But I think Paris has ambition, right? So even, I know we moan about line bitty a lot, but they saw a problem in that the lines for characters are frequently crazy, and they tried to come up with some form of solution. I think once they start updating those ancient, outdated systems, that we might actually see something happen. But let's see, I don't know.
Ash is asking about the Project 2020. What was it called? 2020.
It's just DLP 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Future ready.
Well, I don't know if they meant like December 31st, 2020, but now with the way the year is going, this is definitely not happening.
They're just going to
It wasn't
graffiti
going to happen anyway.
over the last zero. They'll just graffiti that over. I'm like, oh, 2021. We meant 2021, people.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically spray painted backstage anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That thing was abandoned as soon as Catherine left. Let's be real. Like,
But the sad thing is, if she stayed, I bet it would have been delivered.
100%.
I don't know.
Maybe.
At the
100%.
moment, we have a PhotoPass system that somehow has coronavirus. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's still not back. Can you still not?
It's still not back.
Oh,
No, it's because it's also it's just because the whole department isn't working, but somehow they did decide to just shut down the site. They should have just kept it
They
online.
put them all on temporary unemployment, so now they can't get the pictures back.
How weird.
Yeah, but somehow some people can access their photos on an app. Like I spoke to someone yesterday, they're like, "Oh, I can see all my photos on my app. I can download them all," which is weird.
What's that? Inconsistency.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did they update? Are they on the latest version of the app?
Yeah,
Maybe
they
the
are.
old
It's
one.
really
Oh.
weird. No, they were on the latest version.
I don't understand why
broken.
Paris didn't just pay Fujifilm, like, and just go, look, this is pretty bad. Just take some money
Yeah, help.
and keep it ticking over for a bit.
Anyway.
Like, instead,
Fujifilm
we
would be
currently have
better.
a PhotoPass system that's down because of coronavirus or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and also a lot of people hadn't been informed. Like the people who we all got AP emails saying, "Oh, you need to like give consent to Disney, blah blah blah." But those who bought the pass in the park or like got the voucher, nobody told them like you gotta download your photos before March 31st. So
Well, they even said you don't need to worry about it because everything's just going to be transitioned
migrate.
and it will all be fine. On the
yeah, but
1st of
only if you
April.
gave consent on like that email.
Yeah.
So to those who just like bought an €80 photo pass, a lot of them don't have their photos because they didn't know.
And I'm gonna
It's
say,
almost
Jeff,
as if
you
Paris
called
has a
it right
history
away.
of migration issues.
Yeah, I said that something will go wrong. At this point,
Yeah,
I
well,
don't think I
Do you
expected
remember?
that
Jeff totally called it.
coronavirus would happen.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you know,
it was
we
before all of this madness. So.
I think in the end
But-
we're all this on this show because we also love Disneyland Paris, and I feel like all the quirks and all the weirdness and all it's what also makes it interesting. I don't know if I would be as much of a fan. I mean, obviously I love like Tokyo Disney Resort for all the amazing things that they create, but I don't know if I would be as passionate a fan if there wasn't like all the weird things that Disneyland Paris does all the time, and we can talk about. It's like
I searched on Google yesterday, or maybe Sunday, I don't know. I searched Disneyland Paris PhotoPass Plus, and the name on Google for that page is Walt Disney's PhotoPass, and I'm like, oh, he came up with that, did he?
Oh.
Wow. He was a forward-thinking visionary, that guy.
he's out there taking your photos right now. Anyway,
Walt Disney's PhotoPass service.
oh boy.
Trust
All
me,
right.
On that
Google it.
BBC
It's
article
actually a
where
thing.
it said like Walt Disney personally furloughed. Like it's like Walt Disney is not paying all their staff.
Yeah,
I can't
that's on
remember
the
what it was.
BBC. Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
Walt
they're like,
Disney
Walt
has
Disney's
stopped
not paying.
paying 100,000 cast members. Like, wow, that
Perfect,
Walt
yeah.
Disney.
Resurrected.
What a scoundrel.
All right. Well, on that note, I think it's time to end the show. It's been 2 hours and a half. Thank you guys for joining and for listening and for sending your questions. Are we saying that we'll be back for another show next week? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of
What
course.
else?
Well, I don't know. You could have some grand plans of doing.
Yeah, I'm getting my hair cut next week.
Oh, Seb's saying that they've pulled the PhotoPass app on Android.
Yeah, right. Weird.
Anyway.
Could you imagine if, like, when the parks are open, they go, surprise, it's going to be on the DLP app, and we all, like, die of shock because, like, it's finally
They're
happened.
probably mad to lose everyone's pictures anyway.
Yeah.
100%. You're not getting those
Yeah,
back.
definitely.
Glad I downloaded
That's
them.
gone.
Richie, this is your song to end the show. So tell us about your song.
Oh. It is the updated version I believe around Jeff. When did this version come out? Because you know about this. It's like the updated current version.
2017.
17? I think is it 17? Yeah.
I think it was a 17 run. No.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure. Yeah. This is the 2017 updated or remastered version of Main Street Electrical Parade, and it is the opening segment from the opening of the parade. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Opening segment of Manchester Electro Parade Remastered. That's a good one to finish the show because it feels like it's like a nighttime thing.
So good night kiss.
It's a good night kiss. All right. Well, thank you everyone. Thank you for listening, reading, sending questions, and interacting with all of us all day and on Monday nights. And we will see you next week. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
We survived on 4G.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Disneyland proudly presents our spectacular festival pageant of nighttime magic and imagination in thousands of sparkling lights and electro-synthomagnetic musical sounds. The Main Street Electrical Parade.